Who doesn't watch the stream so we can curse.
Because your mother
Is that the only reason that you couldn't before? Oh, Rhonda.
That and ad revenue.
Oh, Rhonda.
Oh,
Rhonda.
Oh, that's a
I'm
that's a whole interview worth of. And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Curbside Podcast presents Dice Hard with a Vengeance. We're back, y'all. Not only are we back, so's our good friend Lord Belden. He's returned.
Hey.
Don't know how the
Christian.
DM's gonna bring him back, but he
what
is
he just
back in
said
the
to me.
game. He's rejoined us. We have a very interesting night ahead of us. The DM has all kinds of twisted plans, which I'm excited to see. But most importantly, before I go into the usual YouTube spiel, I want to say happy birthday, Tim. Our illustrious Dungeon Masters.
Yay.
Wonderful birthday is today, so why not celebrate with some D&D?
Thank you.
Hey.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Worst.
So with that,
Please don't kill us.
yeah, his birthday's a TPK. Oh, that'd be terrible.
Oh, it's what I've always wanted.
Happy birthday.
Maybe for Christmas. We'll
No,
see.
he's gonna spice it up. It
You're
would be
good.
self-inflicted.
See what Krampus brings you this year.
A rematch?
We killed him.
Yeah, we don't know someone killed Krampus.
Krampus
Like
brings
those
us a
who wants to-
rematch for Christmas next
So
year.
you think.
He wants to go again. Okay, Krampus.
But ladies and gentlemen, as always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, tap the little bell on your YouTube app so you never miss an upload. Follow us on Twitch as well. And, much like our last episode, this episode is brought to you in part by repsports.com. Use the promo code Curbside8 with any purchase to get 10% off. And with that, let's start with the oath. I, Naramus Torn, do solemnly swear to not be a murder hobo. Lady V,
I, Berenice Arania, do solemnly swear to not be a murder hobo.
Natiel,
I, Natil, do solemnly swear to not be a murder hobo.
Corrales,
I, Corrales Abrazar, do solemnly swear to not be a murder hobo.
Lord Belden,
I swear to do the same thing those other guys said to do.
Charuka Bloodfist,
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
Pumpkin
Excellent.
Spice Everything!
my inner white girl is pleased.
That's facts.
Very facts. Tim,
I
take it
feel-
away.
Your DM will remember that.
Talk of pumpkin spice. It's
Uh.
a very good candle.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, guys, welcome back to Thrandia. When we last left off, well, there was a lot to unpack after the party met with the provider, which turned out to be not just a hag, but Medea, for those of you who have a little bit of knowledge in Greek mythology. And we also found out that Sir Midagast is, in fact, an undead prince named Hector. Shortly after that, there was a one brief altercation with the Whispering Mushrooms, which you guys found out due to a lash out from our Corrales. You found out was in fact mud pixies living in these giant mushrooms. And after setting one of their homes on fire and exchanging insults with them, you proceeded to go on your final mission in Black Bog Swamp to help out Draco, the druid that you guys had befriended. And you helped him to recover a couple of his friends, and one in particular, his wife, who were taken captured by druid hunters. And one of the most spectacular rescue missions of this campaign. You saved his wife and a couple other druids. You said your goodbyes and parted ways with Draco Archimedeus. Hopefully not for the last time. And that's where we're going to pick up. You guys are, in fact, on the road back to Brine. everyone in the party minus Belden. So you guys are. We're gonna pick up with you guys on the road, heading back to Brine after the adventures in Black Bog Swamp. Let's get started.
Okay.
We literally left off moments away of Draco parting ways with you guys.
All right.
I'm glad we found his wife.
Yeah.
And we just need to find our way back.
I was about to say the same thing, Corrales. We need to find our way out of here.
All right. Well, you guys are still in Black Bog Swamp. So let's do our first roll of the night for whoever wants to do the survival check for finding your way back.
Wonder who it's gonna be. It's a goddamn mystery. Who knows?
Let's play Fire to Flow, it's better.
Whoop. Hit my laptop. Sorry.
All right. Survival.
Survival check. First roll of the night.
27 bitches.
20.
I'm back.
Jesus.
Ranger
Let's go.
doing Ranger things.
Oh, hell
And if there was a
yeah.
chandelier, it'd be screwed.
Sure would. But you're not even in a place that you guys came through originally. But Nat, it doesn't take you any time to find your direction, and you within half the time are back on a trail back to the main roads to head back towards Brine. You guys do have a few moments here during travel. If there's anything that you want to do, anything that we're trying to take stock of, RP out. Here's a moment for you. Because this is going to be a couple hours of just trudging through a swamp. The only thing I'll add is that Midagast is still clutching his amulet of memories, and it's still lit up and flashing, and he keeps tapping it, and it is unresponsive, and he's trying to figure out why it's not working. So that's his thing in the back of the line here.
Torn would like to pull Corrales back a couple paces.
Okay.
What's up, Tor?
So, I'm sorry about the whole everything poofing away. I know it's...
I pulled the card, not you.
I know. But you shouldn't beat yourself up. And you shouldn't let anything else beat you up, which is why I am actually going to give you this to protect yourself, and I'm actually going to give Corrales the bone whip that I got from the Druid Hunters.
Nice.
Oh, man. Thank you.
This will make sure you don't have to get as close and personal as I do, but, it'll...
Is that the spinal whip that I gave you?
Yes, it is.
You got the stats for it?
I still have the card. I'll send it
Okay.
to him.
Yeah, just send it to him. Cool.
But this will keep you a little bit more protected than just your fists.
Thank you, Tor.
Of course.
You got everyone doing okay back there?
There's just an aimless tapping. Why it's not working?
Do I need to yell at it more?
I would.
Because, strangely enough, that's kind of what started it.
I don't know.
What are you gonna try to do?
I was just asking... I guess also
Asking
hectic-
who? I guess is what
I think he's just talking
the air.
Sir Prince Meta Hector.
Meta
you just hear a groan. Just yeah.
Dude, I don't know how to activate it I don't even know what I did the first time. I was just yelling at you.
Which is something you do very well already.
I'm almost sorry, and then it started glowing, and then I was like, oh, that worked.
There's a pause. Do you think yelling at it is what activated it?
I don't know.
He just kind of pulls the necklace a little far away from him towards you.
I mean, what? I guess I was mad and angry that you were kind of like giving up on yourself, and I refused to let you do so. I refused to let you feel sorry for yourself. You are some sort of crazy hero knight of legend, and
So she says.
and you deserve to know who you are.
Just continues to light up.
That's all I got. Sorry, guys.
Horn, if you're going to yell at something, do it with feeling.
I don't know what I'm doing. I've never activated a magic amulet by shouting before. If I had, I probably would still have it on me. Hopefully.
Well then.
All right. Pretty much, I'm gonna say 2 hours go by. You guys are making excellent time. Nat, you're kind of taking a couple different gaming trails and some that aren't even trails but are paths that you're doing your ranger job, and you're doing a really good job at it. You're really cutting the travel time down. Go ahead and make me one more survival check to see.
Okay. 26 this time.
Good gosh, girl. All right. I'm gonna say that it is nighttime, but you almost cut a day off of the travel, and you do find a way back to the Imperial Highway,
Oh, dang.
and you cut through the bog. It's amazing.
I've never been so happy to see this ugly road.
Yeah. Separately, Belden, if you don't mind, I kind of left you kind of on the road when we did our thing. So go ahead.
Again.
Yeah. Just, I'm gonna just say for the heck of it, make this just an athletics check. And this is just simply for your travel speed, nothing else. This isn't strenuous or anything. DC's not high.
Okay, 12.
12, not bad. Okay. To pan the camera to you for a bit. This is after your last incident that you hid off to the side of the road for a little while. You travel for a little longer, and it is getting nighttime for you as well. You are roughly less than a day away from Brian. Very similar to what I told you the other day, though. You are seeing increased amount of patrols on the King's Highway. More so than usual. And you actually do see as two armored knights on horseback kind of nod and regard you as they pass you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to stop in the middle of the road, so I'm gonna keep going, I guess.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. There ain't no place to. There's nothing around me, right? It's just road.
Do an investigation check.
11.
11, not much around. And you're getting close to nighttime. You can keep pushing if you want to. If you push through the night, you might be able to make it to Brine, but you'll have a point of exhaustion by the time you get there.
It's just me too, though, so it's like I don't want to risk pulling over, so to speak. I mean, I guess I could take like a break up the trip in I guess rest. You know what I mean? Not like a long one per se, but
Take a short rest.
dip my way there. Yeah, because
Okay.
of what I've seen on the road so far and everything. I'm by myself, so it's
Yes.
really not entirely safe to stop and sleep under the stars, so to speak. So
Yeah.
that's how I want to continue towards Brine. Just short little.
Okay.
Pops.
For that, I'm gonna say that you take a short rest and give me this one. I'm gonna make a survival check.
Okay. Then I'm right. 15.
15. Okay.
Mhm.
You can push through the night, taking short rests as needed. And like I said, you will make it to Brine. It will be early morning, and you will have 1 point of exhaustion.
So for exhaustion, I just need to sleep a day away essentially.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take eventually a long rest, because the longer you push that, there's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
said I've
more
never-
points of exhaustion and
I know it's
more.
gonna sound crazy, but I've never done that before. But I'm gonna do it this time because, like I said, I know what's
Right.
the
And I'm gonna,
alternative.
because I didn't have all that put up. Let me give you what exactly the point of exhaustion gives you. Cutting the camera back to the party. Are you guys stopping to rest for the night, or are you pushing through to get to Brine?
We also take exhaustion if we keep pushing.
You're getting very close to it, especially since your trek was a little harder. Even with Nat, you are still on foot going through a bog.
I recommend we get rested
All right.
because we
Are
don't
you
know
go-
what's going to be facing us back home. So it might be a good idea to not show up half in the bag, so to speak.
That's
Not,
quite
not
true.
a terrible idea.
I agree. All right, we'll camp for a little bit, and then we'll set off again by dawn.
Okay. All right, so the party starts to set up camp. Belden, real quick, it is disadvantage on all ability checks for 1 point of exhaustion.
Okay, but I mean, as soon as I get to the city, essentially, I could sack out for a long rest and be okay.
Yes, once you take a long rest, it goes back to 0 and you're good.
Yeah, we're gonna play.
Listen,
that
we've all
game.
been there. You pull an all-nighter.
Yeah.
How do you feel the day after an all-nighter?
Just, like I said, after what we spoke about, I'm not stopping on that road.
Understood.
Mhm.
Party. You guys set up camp. Are you gonna take watches? What's the plan?
I can take a watch.
Take a watch.
I'll take one.
All right.
All right.
I'll just take a short rest later, and I'll watch the rest of the time.
Okay.
He's not particularly tired. She's kind of calm. It seems like very distracted.
Yeah.
She's kind of staring into the fire.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to whoever's going to take the first watch.
I can take first.
Hector slash Minagast still does not need to sleep, so he'll
Okay.
be up. Comes with being undead. You don't sleep.
What's the perception check?
Yes, for whoever is doing the first watch.
16.
Okay.
That's 14 for Minagast. Hector.
Oh wait, V, did you say you were gonna do first, or was it okay with me doing first?
We can both do it. It's fine.
Okay, so the three of you go ahead and roll Nat.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't want to step on toes.
Oh, that's fine. If you need
Okay.
a long rest or not.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, my laptop is like going freaking crazy.
No idea what that's like.
Perception 15.
15, so two 15s and a 14. First couple hours go by, not a whole lot to speak of. You still have the light from the fire at the camp and the ever-glowing amulet of Nidagast. Just it's like a pale green light that's flashing.
How exactly does it work? Did she say?
He kind of stands there and thinks for a minute. He said that people or places or things would trigger memories and that would help me regain some of what I've lost. And he kind of puts his hands at his side and there's like a moment he feels inside of his armor and he pulls out a crumpled piece of parchment and unfolds it and looks at it. And triggers. And what you see before you is the party. You guys on a cart heading the opposite direction away from Brine. This would be several weeks ago, on your way to a certain gala, and the memory pops up of you, V, and Nidagast in the back of the cart, and you see him describing, it's I think longer hair, but brown eyes maybe. I've got this image in my head, but I don't know who it is. And you are drawing what he tells you.
Was that drawing who we saw when he had his face back for a moment?
Roll me an intelligence check.
Oh, no. That's 14.
Doesn't look that way. It appears that whoever he remembered, it wasn't his own likeness. And you now get a better look at what he's looking at, and it's the drawing that you gave him. And there's a moment where you see inside the skeletal head, you see the green light from the amulet flashes from his eye sockets, and you see him jerk forward for a minute. And then this triggered memory goes back, and you see yourself being attacked on the road, bandits attacking your carriage, and a lightning javelin striking one of the bandits and incinerating them. And this band of misfits coming up to save you from your misfortune. And you see this buffoonish skeleton in armor. Can we be of assistance, my lady? And then the memory flashes back, and you see this skeleton in armor in this dark place. You've never seen it before, but he's almost posed like a statue near a well, and you see as Keralos gets closer to the skeleton in armor, and then you see as it just and you see as Keralos lurches back nearly into Taruk's arms, as you see the very first moment that Sir Nidagast ran into the party, and these images fade out and sucked back into the amulet, and you see as Hector comes back and he's quiet for a minute. Huh. Well, it appears I've got that back.
All the gaps filled in?
There's a hesitation on his part. And there's a little bit of a shaking to his hand. And he looks up to you. And if a skeleton could look sad, thanks for bringing me back. He takes the sketch that you gave him and puts it back inside the armor. And he starts pacing.
I changed my mind. I'm going to sleep.
Of course. Good night, B. Wow. That was pretty heavy, wasn't it?
You're talking to me, Willowdon?
Oh, I was trying to talk to Metagast.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure which one. Okay.
Could have been either.
Yeah.
She went to sleep, so.
He's pacing, and as you mentioned, he stops for a minute, and he goes, there's an unsureness to, there's a hesitation, and yeah. I didn't remember.
You know, I wish I had something to say. I'm not very good with words, but
He kind of looks over to where V walked off, and he goes, apparently I'm not either. You know Metagast wasn't real, right?
I do know that, right? Or no?
It was just something that I created because I didn't know who I was. And I thought that being someone else was better than not knowing who I was.
I mean, the best I can do is just offer my thought on it. Not knowing who you are, you can kind of create who you want to be. At the same time, it would probably be a pretty lonely existence. Or I'm not even sure how to explain now that, you know, I'm not even sure if it would even be called an existence with what you've been through.
It's a weird feeling. It's like somebody pulled everything that was you out, and now you've only got a few glimpses.
Maybe with those few glimpses that you have, you can try to establish something else.
He looks at you for a minute. I'm sorry I couldn't do more.
Hey, you did everything that you could, and I don't harbor ill will towards you or anybody. You know, I haven't told anyone else this, but I think once I find Isla, I'm thinking about hanging up my bow for good.
He just kind of nods. Part of me would like to walk away too. I think there's too much that's keeping me in it, though.
Oh, I'm seeing this through to the end. This crazy group, believe it or not, we are a merry band of misfits, but I think deep down we need each other more than we even maybe realize on the surface. But, like I said, I'm going to see everybody else through. And once my time comes, I think the Great Ranger is gonna call it.
Something to look forward to then.
You and I both, sir. You and I both.
The two of you, unless you say otherwise, pretty much spend the rest of the watch. I mean, you stay watchful, but you have the longest conversation with Midagast that you've ever had. And it remains positive for the most part about maybe what can be achieved when all this is over. Next watch.
Who gets next? Dragon. I smell dragon breath.
Did I miss anything? Anything exciting?
Nothing important.
No.
Alrighty. Well, Matt, you can head off to bed, and me and Hector will watch the camp.
Sounds like a plan. I turn to protect. I turn to protector, and I just bow my head like.
That's exactly what he says. It's just a gibberish.
Oh, I'm still gonna call you Metagast though, if that's okay with you.
I don't even know which one's real, so whatever you want to call me.
Well, I'm just not gonna call you it. Is that fair?
Fair.
Alright. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, Matt.
Perception check, if you would, Torin.
Alrighty. That is. Sorry,
That's
I can't
fair.
read. 12?
12. Hector got a 6, which is fair. You don't notice a whole lot. Fairly uneventful. Your watch goes by without a hitch. A couple hours go by. If there's anything that you want to talk to Hector about, otherwise we'll keep moving.
So like I was saying earlier, I don't know if my shouting activated a little gemstone.
You mean- No, you rolled a 12. It takes you a few minutes of that for you to look down and see that the amulet isn't glowing anymore.
He's a smart boy.
I don't know if my yelling is what actually set it off, or if it, the whole moment itself. But I hope it helped.
I think so.
It's all I can ask.
I'm willing to bet that simply seeing her is what triggered the first one. The memory itself had to do with her.
I mean, that's fair.
How she apparently is the one that cursed me, and I still don't know how to feel about that.
Well, as someone who's felt a curse before, you take your time and process that one. Because I'm still, not sure how I feel, either.
Yeah. I think I at least have one more piece to the puzzle. With them, and he kind of motions to Nat and V. He goes inside of his armor and shows you the sketch. He goes, "It was this."
Let me see.
Apparently that triggered everything from when you guys found me.
Wait, like you remember everything now? Cause
Up to the Shadowfell.
wow. Well, I know there's probably a lot for you to, kind of take in all at once.
I've got a headache.
I can imagine, but I'm glad to have my friend back.
Yeah, once I figure out who he is, I'll let you know.
Well, the whole point of us bringing you with us was to figure out how to fix this, so we'll just chalk it up as one big package.
Well, he doesn't really pursue the conversation beyond that. You can roll insight on him if you want. It's up to you.
Sure, just to be sure. It's 10.
Tough to read. It is a skeleton.
Right.
There's no tells.
It's a skeleton, and Torn's kind of dense. he just awkwardly puts a claw on his shoulder. Just, I hope we can figure this all out.
Me too. And the rest of your watch goes on. He doesn't really talk too much after that. You can tell that you can't get a beat on him, but you can tell that he has a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
The rest of your watch goes by uneventful. So we'll have one more before we get kind of rolling here.
I'm gonna walk over.
Who's taking the last watch?
Torn's gonna walk over, kick Taruk. Hey, lazy, wake up!
Taruk, you are aroused awake by the. I believe you're wearing those cold boots, so the furred boot of a dragonborn.
You still muted, babe. There you go.
There you go, bud.
Wakey, rookie. Your turn.
God. For what? My turn for what?
To stand watch.
Oh, God. I guess, because, you can't do the simplest task, but all right, I got it.
Oh my god, this guys.
All right. Taruk, as you got that groggy sensation, and it takes you a minute to remember what your name is, where you are, that kind of stuff. It was a good nap, man, and we've all had those where you kind of like, what year is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Best ever, man.
Yeah. But go ahead and give me a perception check if you would.
All right.
True to form.
19.
19, that's good, because Hector got an 8.
Nice.
Uneventful, my friend. You're fairly alert. Not much going on. You do see, once again, a couple armored guards that are patrolling the road not too far away from where you guys camped off to the side. But other than that, there's nothing out of the ordinary. Hector, Midagast has remained quiet, although you, with that roll, you notice that the amulet's not flashing anymore either. And he's been kind of pacey. You can see he's kind of pensive. But other than that, you don't notice anything.
Well, I'm just gonna kind of just watch Metagast just pace back and forth. Taruk's kind of still got a lot going on upstairs.
Yeah.
So he just,
There's a lot to unpack, I think, for both of you, and he doesn't really initiate anything because he kind of glances at you a couple times, but kind of sees a familiar look, and he just kind of lets it be, and he honestly, it's a lot of nervous energy. He does a couple, laps around the camp, just to. He's restless. He's got a lot on his mind. And that's plain for you to see with your roll. But your watch goes by uneventful. So unless you got something, we're gonna go ahead and jump to the next morning. Real quick before we get you guys going, Belden, it is roughly 3 a.m. And
so tired.
You are just now coming across the Brine city limits, right to the main, one of the main gates on the south side of the city, and you're just heavy footfalls.
So tired.
Yeah. I mean, every step's a chore, man. Every step is a chore. But you make your way. Yeah, you make your way inside the main gate. They let you in. You are back in Brine, my friend. So, at 3 a.m, where is Belden Winterhill gonna go in Brine?
I think I'm gonna go to our favorite brothel in the whole wide world.
To the luxurious light you go, sir.
Yeah.
To the
It's
luxurious
3
light you go.
a.m. Time to go to the brothel.
Yep.
Time to go whoring.
So says the holy man.
Brothel, let's all go to the brothel.
The most honest holy man in the world.
But it's and for anybody who's listening or watching, the funny part is he's going there just to sleep.
I know it's safe, and I know the madam will murder anything that comes to that place. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna sleep.
Better believe it. I tell you what, I'll give you one little scene here of you once again hitting the front door of the brothel, and it's just one of those. You're
not even using my fist. Just
no. Okay, perfect. And you see is one of the.
I'm so tired.
The hostesses to the brothel is kind of and they please Lord Winterhill, please come in, and believe it or not, Mina is in the main lobby and she does greet you as you come by, but there's a moment of energy from her, and then she takes one look at you and she's darling.
Oh.
I just want to go to sleep. I'm so tired.
Room 12B.
I want to give the madam a little hug, and I want to just make my way upstairs.
By the way, you do smell. You've been on the road for the past week.
Hey, man.
So there's a little bit of on her part. Just a little bit of a go.
And then I'm just gonna shuffle my way up them stairs, and then I'm just gonna.
Oh, that feeling when you're so tired, you're like, I'm not even taking a shower, and you go straight to the bed. You're like,
do I shower or just
bam? All they hear is bam, because
not today, Zerg. Not today. You're just straight to bed. Okay. Good enough. So we're going to pan from you back to the party, who is just now, you're starting to pull up camp. Everybody has awakened. You are now getting ready to make your way back to Brine for the first time since heading out into Blackbog Swamp. No real need to roll much here. You're taking the Royal Highway.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It takes you till about midday to get back to Brine. It takes you till about midday to get back to Brine, and you guys see the familiar sight of Brine as you come to the south entrance. And the streets are a little packed as you guys make your way into Brine, and you hear a commotion. And what immediately draws your eye is that there's these posted signs up everywhere. Teledor Rex for Chamberlain.
Really?
Vereen Shadeleaf for Chamberlain.
Oh, politicians.
And you hear Let me back the mic up a little bit. You hear the raised voice of a squat-looking human man with a walrus mustache and spectacles on this scaffolding that's raised up about 10-15 feet in the air, and you hear the embroiled, passionate speech of one Teledor Rex. The history of this city is mired in the corruption of cults, and it must change, people.
Oh.
And you see as the walrus mustache kind of quavers for a minute, and he goes, Brine needs to step out onto the world stage. We must learn to defend ourselves. Defend ourselves from the invader. There are higher callings in life than what we have seen in Brine up to this point. Brine has endured, and it will continue to endure. And it's rinse and repeat. An embroiled, passionate speech from one Teledor Rex. Obviously, the rumored election for the Chamberlain of Brine is in full force.
Oh.
And you see crowds of people hanging on Teledor's every word. My plans for this city are ironclad. And let me tell you about the history of Brine, but we must not dwell on this history. We must look to the future, ladies and gentlemen. This is all in the background as you guys are heading.
Don't make eye contact. Just keep walking.
I agree. Who gave this man the idea to run for Chamberlain?
Politicians. Are there any signs for me?
The iniquities of leadership will not be tolerated in the West.
I leaned to Krellis. Did we accidentally do that?
No. I mean, well...
Not accidentally, but kind of.
There is no place for dark cults in our society.
I mean,
Nevermore will we be put under a tyrant's boot.
Is he running on an anti-cult platform?
The old
Fake
chamber.
news!
I like his stance, but you know,
Are there any
I'm a
posters
little
for
biased.
Wilhelmina by any chance?
No,
Is this guy close to the light?
Bummer.
Just
Would have had
asking.
my vote.
I'm not even gonna make you roll. Nope.
Nope.
Would have had my roll. My vote.
So party. Where are you going?
I want to get home as fast as possible.
There's only one place to go in Brine.
This
Where
is the
everybody
second
knows your
campaign I've ever
name.
played. The brothel is base, is home base.
All right. So as the party starts to make its way, and it's tough. It's about like trying to walk through like
A convention?
yeah, like a con or an amusement park where there's full of people, and you hear slowly as his voice trails off the undominable Teledor Rex.
Oh my.
I pull my veil down as if it could shield my ears.
Right.
And just walk drudgingly.
We must be willing to step out onto the world stage. To do so requires us, every one of us, to step forward and to maintain leadership, maintain our honor. And it slowly trails off, and it's
Very slowly.
his voice carries. It
Of
actually,
He's a walrus.
the sad part about it is that you're almost at the light, and you swear his voice is carrying on the wind.
wow. Well, at least he's passionate.
A virtue, I suppose.
Screw it. I'm just trying to be positive. I got nothing.
I am
Torn
so
opens the door. I like him.
I have so little positivity in me right now. I'll fake it tomorrow, I promise.
You take it as you see fit, B. You
Even
take it as you
Midagas
see
is like, and I thought I had a headache before. As he's walking through. Welcome back to the luxurious light, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank God. I had half a mind that it would be on fire.
No.
Thank any god that'll listen.
Just as pristine as you left it. It is. I'll say you're in about midday. You're about 11, about almost 12. Well, you're almost noon. By the time you guys get to the light, Belden, I imagine that you're still sleeping.
Yeah.
After an all-nighter, I'm imagine that you're.
Unless I can hear that what's happening out there, because I don't want any part of that. I'm still asleep.
To you have woken up a couple times, and you ever hear like somebody outside your window? It's a muffled. We must protect our people. There's the iniquities of the leadership.
I know I'm a holy man, but once I'm rested, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna go find this man and I'm gonna hurt him.
Belden pays one of the ladies to cover his ears for him.
I imagine it's like that.
You're
You've
no
got
evil.
a pillow wrapped in rope around your head. It's just kind of.
The curtain ties behind the around his head.
Yeah, I'm dead to the world.
Yeah, because that wasn't going on when you got there, but apparently in the early morning hours, we have started the debates. So, anyway, as you guys have made your way back to the luxurious light, I assume there's going to be a period here of bathhouse, rest, food,
Drinks.
I'm going to rest and eat in the bathhouse.
Ooh, that's a solid plan.
I like that plan.
Classy.
Efficiency.
I like it.
When I wake up, I'm having
Multitasking.
a beer in the
Like,
bath.
I give Mina the most polite hands, arm's length, like air kiss, and then go straight to the baths.
Yes, please go, darling. Go. She is very. It's an abbreviated reunion because a lot of you stink of a bog. So
Fair enough.
So there's a yes. Wonderful to see you. Wonderful to see you. Please go bathe. That is basically how that conversation goes.
Nat in the bathhouse B is like reclined on one of the chaise in like a thin robe with food and wine and napping and flowers and bathing.
Really a lady of luxury, my friend.
Woo! That had some fire.
That was great.
Respect, sir. Respect.
We heard that from the bath.
You did.
Excellent.
Belden? Just kidding.
Taruk, you hear the echo of the holiest of holy belches. And you just kind of a challenge.
Oh man.
Where is this place?
Does Madam know that something got loose in her brothel?
Oh my gosh, guys. So this is going to be a period of just basic, a little bit of rest and relaxation. A couple hours of you guys to just wipe the dirt and the grime and the emotional trauma of the Black Bog Swamp off.
Yeah.
We need to take another bath after Belden's burp.
As you guys,
Basket.
I'm going to say that in this moment, as the ladies return from the bathhouse, the guys kind of do like a mini wash up, and y'all kind of start to get food in you. Belden, this is where you come down the spiraling banister staircase, and you see your friends congregating in the lower level of the luxurious light, who you've not seen for what is about a week and a half now.
You
It
old
feels so much
so-and-sos. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna go to the bath, and I want flowers and mead and some ale, and then more bath, and I'll be right with you guys. Because I didn't do any of that.
V doesn't get one of those like customary, like almost sarcastic curtsies. She just kind of like nods and waves. She's just over it. She didn't even change. She's still in like that thin bathrobe.
Torin literally has his head in like a plate of food and doesn't even hear Belden. Just
that's on brand.
Not inaccurate.
We're not afraid of death.
My image of that is Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, basically.
I love it.
He's like, hey, here's something. I want.
Yeah. So while they're stuffing their faces, I'm gonna go handle my washing. Come back and stuff my face. Not stuff my face, but yeah.
You see Belden as you start to head towards the bathhouse. You see Sir Midagast in his armor, but the skull is very, very clean. Whiter than you maybe have ever seen, and there's a towel draped over his right shoulder. Chunk, chunk.
God, where were you? Where were you guys that even you had to clean up?
I used the sauna.
Uh,
Chlunk,
Nice.
chlunk, 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 as he goes right by you.
Wait, was he wearing armor too?
Yep.
You know you're supposed to take that off in the sauna, right?
Don't. And you just hear as he's walking away. Don't care.
I love him.
I
Oh
don't
my
know what's
God,
up with
I love it.
Metagast, but I like it.
He's just the gift that keeps on giving, you know? Oh boy.
God,
You know
no
what?
sense.
I'm gonna claim this little dining area for our own and like close the alcove shutters.
Right.
So they can gobble in peace.
Right.
Hey, crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna like claim it for our own.
Yeah.
Kinda, like,
Torin, one of the servers brings by with plate number 3, sets it in front of you, takes plate number 1 and 2 away from you.
Slowly.
I thank them and then I just start picking at a pomegranate, leaning back.
Right. Right. Okay.
I just stare at Torin and I'm just like slowly drinking, like fascinated at the way he eats like an animal. Well, I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Rude to say.
Yeesh.
Good point.
Hey, she pays the bills. She can be specious if she wants to be.
Yeah, he's got a really weird mix of like over it, relaxed, annoyed, happy to be home, lots of emotions. None of
There's-
them malicious.
It's the party. You guys have been through a lot in the past few days. Some more than most. But the luxurious light is a welcome sight after the past few days. And I think that this is something that is true for everybody, even Belden, is that there's a level of comfort here. There's something about this place, and it's more than just this building. I think that there's just a comfort, and it's after the trials and tribulations of the bog, it's just so welcome to be able to be somewhere where you're not in danger.
You know what I just thought about too? Technically, everyone here was here before it had its glow up.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, everyone here knows that it was once just a dusty little crappy brothel in a nobody town.
Yep.
Little hole in the wall.
The
Hole in the
broken
wall.
saddle.
Broken saddle.
The broken saddle
Broken saddle.
is a faded memory.
Still remains ungrateful. So far, my barking has stayed on.
I am not ungrateful.
I don't know whose phone that is,
That
but
was my mom. Oh my god.
That's
I am so
really
sorry.
great.
Oh, you're
Very
good.
nice. That's funny.
I'm gonna go around to
Oh, shit.
these two because you guys haven't said. Taruk, what was your routine upon returning back to the light here? This was
I
first
just
break.
found the biggest, widest tub, and I just jumped in butt naked. And
Got it between them toes.
yeah, it's just,
roll me Taruk. Roll me a performance check.
I'm gonna
Just
There's not like male and female tubs, right? It's like all one big bathhouse area.
I don't care.
The bathhouse. Think about like animes. There is a guy and a gal section
Oh,
to the
okay.
bathhouse.
There
There
is
is
like, how weird do you want to make this?
right. I'm not going that far,
It's
guys.
a brothel. I mean, there's not a lot of propriety here.
True,
we
but
like
even
to think there's some decency to it.
right you got to think like, and this is something for anybody who's listening as well as to remind you guys. The luxurious light is like what you just said. It's the glow up from the Broken Saddle. It went from like a really kind of like a dive, like a real grungy place. And as the gold came in, Mina has reinvested into this building and has become one of those like super brothels. If you want something to reference, like from the late 1800s that you found in like Kansas City, some of the bigger cities in Texas like Houston, California, where the gold rush time, and they had the super brothels where it wasn't just you're paying for company. It's basically you're paying for an experience. There's
Experience.
it's you have a bathhouse area, food.
Girls play instruments. There's storytelling,
Yes.
music.
You don't just walk in grungy and do what you want and leave. This is a high-end establishment. It's if for all intents and purposes, it's a respectable business. Bless you.
Bless you.
All right.
I rolled 13.
13. Not the greatest cannonball in the world, but you do make a very large splash, and it just and the water hits both sides of the walls and the area that you're at.
Nice.
And all you hear is like the raised voice of one of the servers go, "Everything okay?"
Yeah. It's
Okay,
fine.
just making sure you're not dead, sir. And he just keeps walking.
Oh, it'll take
Some
more
might
than
be.
that.
Corrales, upon returning to the light, what was your little routine here?
I would definitely love to bathe and then find clothes. Since I did the box trick absolutely naked, I would love to find something
Some
and wash
base.
this off.
One of the servers, knowing your connection to Mina and that you're on very good terms with the madam of the establishment, definitely it's basic, and you can add it to your inventory. It's basic peasant's clothes, but in peasant's clothes maybe not be the best. It's villager clothes. It's basic. It's clean, but it's a basic shirt, pants. You know, it's nothing extravagant. You do there's a basic wool cloak.
Cool. Basic. At least I've got something. That's
You have clothes now.
I think you were just wearing her cloak.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Then you don't need the wool cloak. Or if you want to and give the cloak back to Nat, that's up to you. There's a wool cloak provided for you.
Poor boy.
And you do have the staff that Draco gave you, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That and the whip that Torrin
That,
just gave.
and the whip and the spinal whip that Torn gave you. Got it. Make sure you keep track of that. I know it's the only 2 items you own right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you poor thing.
You will not make me feel guilty about making that deck.
No, I make him feel guilty for choosing a card. You poor thing.
Yeah. Okay, so clothes are provided for you, Corrales. You wash, you reconvene with the group, and there's a little, like I said, you also after the past few days you've had, there's a bit of comfort in being back in the light and knowing that at least here you're protected.
For sure.
After everybody has rested, eaten their fill, you guys reconvene for the first time in days.
Full.
Sleeping.
So unreal.
And by the way, Belden, your point of exhaustion is gone after you've rested.
Nice.
Sweet.
Erase.
Ale.
No.
It's a little after midday.
Pours wine.
Sorry. I was just saying it's a little after midday by the time all of you kind of get your
Bearings together.
yeah.
Okay,
So-
fair enough.
I have to admit, it's strange to host people here who are friends and not paying me. Glad we all made it back alive.
And it doesn't look like you guys are worse for the wear, for the most part.
Well, on the outside. Pleasure meeting you, sir.
We have emotional trauma building. You should know that by now.
I wasn't
Torn
gonna
gets
say
up,
that.
nursing his food baby. Belden! Oh. Ate too much.
Yeah, you got the meat sweats, Torn.
Just want to poke Torn in the belly. Just be like, "You all right there, buddy?"
Oh, I've never been happier to see you. Literally pick Belden up.
Whoa.
We give Belden one of those low curtsies and a kiss on the cheek. And then sit down.
Yeah.
We've missed you, my friend.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. Well, can't say it's been the same without you guys. For one thing, no crazy. I've lived a normal life. It's been really weird.
Nothing's tried to kill you, right?
I know. It's well.
I'd like to inside Belden on that. Nothing tried to kill you, you lying sack of shit.
Well, I mean, if it can't find me, it can't kill me, right? I'm just saying.
Okay, I will make a roll for that since he kind of opened up a little there.
Said won't or will.
Oh, he was honest there at the tail end.
I see. Oh boy. Well, I suppose, yeah, we'll fast track this, fill Belden in, if anybody's planning on keeping anything.
We did a lot of this off stream. The short
For
version.
brevity's sake.
Yeah, for brevity's sake, and the short version to make sure that everybody's on the same page. They went to the Black Bog Swamp. There's quite an adventure. I suggest anybody who hasn't watched it go back and watch it. It's really good stuff.
Link in the bio below.
They've still got the bog
Yeah,
smell a little bit. I know they washed, but it's still there.
Oh yeah,
It takes a while.
there's a bit of that, and you know that having
I know that.
bog dove yourself, you're aware.
I'm proficient in getting rid of smells.
And the highlights of it being, the removal of the cards from the deck of needful things from the provider, which turned out to be Medea. Corrales losing every last one of his possessions.
He's just a poor boy.
Farouk kind of getting a little curse of his own from a card that he drew. And some unknown results from one that Hector Midagast drew. And Belden, you are updated in fact that Midagast is in fact Hector Onassis, supposedly a prince of bygone age. And there was an encounter with the Rock. Dwayne Johnson. No, a giant
Good
bird.
Good eating right there.
A giant
That's
bird.
real good eating.
Yeah. And you guys are told of Belden's experience on the road and him and his exploits for the past few days. And the short version of that being simply that there are heightened tensions among the Draconic Empire and Thrandia, and that Thrandia has shut off all trade with the Draconic Empire. And patrols specifically on the southern border of Thrandia, which borders the Draconic Empire and Drakenspire, have increased, and there's rumors of the King's army moving further south to protect from possible conflict with the Draconic Empire. It appears that political tensions are definitely escalating quickly. You also hear from him that as far as the news from his home, it's much of the same. the underground dwarven city of Anyan is still kind of under it's a semi, you could call it martial law. All it really means is that the military is on a heightened state of awareness and business is moving as usual. They're aware that there are problems on the surface, but according to them, it's surface problems. Surface problems don't stop the flow of gold, not in Anyan. So, Belden, I think that, and Belden, it is up to you if you tell. This is the last thing we're gonna do before we move forward. Do you tell them the things that you encountered on the road on the way?
I will, because it is a professional curiosity on my part.
On Belden's trip back, you guys are told that twice Belden ran into undead. The first time was a few undead skeletons that were roaming, and Belden easily dispatched them. They were not on the King's Highway, but they were off to the side out in broad daylight, which is kind of strange. And the second time, he was forced to hide in the woods from a group of undead centaurs. And it appears from what Belden observed is that they were searching for something.
I close the doors to the dining room again.
Okay.
Undead something this cult of ours drudge up on a regular basis?
Give me party, all of you. Religion check, if you would.
Okay.
Oh, 7.
7.
Considering I'm the one who asked the question, that's true to form.
13.
13.
15.
15.
17.
9, 17. What'd you get, Nat?
18.
Anybody over 12? Dirty 20. Nice. Daggone. The barbarian in his religion.
On religion.
Gotcha.
Smart barbarian.
Yeah.
Rolled 18.
Nice. From what you guys all piece together, yeah, it is. Undead don't just roam about, and they certainly don't do it in broad daylight. That's strange. The more disturbing thing that crosses you guys' mind is that undead centaurs, not a common occurrence. That's even rarer than just seeing undead out in an open field. It also raises the question of what they were looking for.
But yeah, that's what I thought.
Even Midagas, who's still got a hand to his head, going, "Well, that's cheerful."
So where does that put our next move?
Midagas kind of clears his throat for a minute. Belden, I have a favor to ask.
Go on.
The provider told me that there's a possibility that I could be restored physically. Spiritually is another matter, but physically, she said that regeneration magic could possibly restore me to the person I was, and not just a skeleton walking around. It would be nice if I could not have to be under a helmet all the time and could walk out in broad daylight.
His curse is broken, so to speak, Alden.
So
At this point, it's
off
just
out of the thing for a minute here. Regenerative magic, like healing magic.
Yeah, but I tell you what, go ahead and make me a medicine check.
Yeah, because that's a weird one.
All I know is that the curse is broken, so I'll relay that.
Correct.
to
That's
for
correct.
sure.
Yes, and all of you know that his curse is broken technically. What remains is that he is undead, but he's just not cursed.
Okay, well that's a
More of a regular corpse rather than a.
He's a living corpse, and it goes back to that differentiation from soul, spirit, and body.
that's
Basically
26, my homie.
26. From what you gather, and this is the first time that anybody has ever brought this up, and that you've really taken a look at this, you believe that strong regenerative magic, and we're not just talking a cure wounds. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about high-level regeneration magic could possibly restore him physically. With that medicine roll, it will be very painful. You are
For him?
for him. You are regrowing an entire body, an entire systems, nervous system, cardiovascular.
So essentially, it's
Everything.
going to be like, hey man, here are all of my spell slots into one freaking thing. Let's play doctor.
It will be challenging.
I'm willing to try if he's willing to go through the. That's exactly what I'm going to tell him.
For anybody who's a comic book nerd, and just for a reference, if anybody has ever seen Wolverine reduced to like nothing but bones, and then he has to regen,
Yeah.
it is extremely painful. You have to just consider the normal healing process for normal wounds and how painful that is. And now we're literally talking about regrowing an entire
Would there be any opportunity? Would there be any chance to like put him to sleep while he goes through all of this?
He doesn't go to sleep.
No, but like as he gets fleshier, he would be prone to things like sleeping poisons, maybe.
Yes. Once he's whole, shall we say. Once he's fully regenerated.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
I mean, obviously, right now as a skeleton, he's immune to poison because there's nothing to poison.
sure. But, like if he starts getting some fleshy bits and he still has like a ways to go before he's fully fleshy, maybe in that time period he could be put to sleep.
Possibly. You also, with that medicine roll, Belden, you know that somewhere around halfway through this process, he could just pass out from the pain.
Oh, well.
You're literally regrowing a nervous system, and it will be painless at first, but there'll be a
It's like
point
built-in-
where,
building a person from scratch.
yes.
It's like a reverse burn.
Well, I'm not going to hold any of this back from him. I'm going to let him know exactly what he's in for.
Also, with that roll, you. All right. On top of that, roll me religion. On top of that,
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna call that religion.
23.
23. You do know that there are several temples in Brine, and that you might be able to get assistance for this. Maybe it doesn't have to be a one-man operation.
I was gonna say the best I can
Yeah.
offer you is a secluded balcony where you can do this. A medical temple might be a better place.
Secluded balcony, medical temple. I'm going to go with medical temple.
It's my balcony.
Although secluded balcony would be. Yeah, we're gonna go with medical temple. I'm gonna have to ask
With
around.
that
We're gonna have to
roll-
talk to some people.
Yeah, with that roll, you know that bringing in an undead skeleton to a temple may cause a problem. It depends on who you run into and who you talk to.
I was gonna say, depending on, I mean, we did just help the city out in a major way, so if we could get
Sure.
like a heading from Philomena to know which temple to head to, it's just kind of a matter of, hi, we did you a solid, please help us commit our crime against nature.
Yeah, that's the other side of that.
So, anybody else got anything? That's the first thing that got brought up. How about the rest of you? I tell you what, I'll go down the line. V.
Well,
I mean, not particularly. Maybe a bit of shopping, but
Shopping.
pretty much it.
Okay. Next down the line, Taruk.
I need to find a suit.
Easy enough to find. There's plenty of tailors to be found in Brine.
Tim, if you want to just expedite it, I'd like one of Ether if it's around, but if it's not,
If you like, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
what I wanted to go shopping for was more essence of Ether if it's around.
Okay.
Potentially Wavering if it's around. If it's not, you can tell me no and we can make it quick.
We'll see. Tim, is that it? Sorry, Taruk.
No. You good. Suit. I want to go set up what I want to set up, Tim.
Uh-huh.
All that jazz.
Sure do.
Yeah.
All right. Corellos.
Nothing I can think of anymore. For the time being.
Fair enough. Belden, by the way, in case I didn't mention it, so you're aware, Corrallos lost everything that he ever owned, including Shroud. Which I'm not even sure if you were aware of Shroud. Now
And
that
a
I think
couple
about it.
things
Yeah,
that
I
he did.
didn't think we were.
I don't think you
I
were.
know, right? A couple things you didn't know.
No,
Basically,
I still
So we're
love you.
broke again.
what you learned is that you're broke and that Corrallos is severely weakened.
And naked. Oh, he's
Not
not
naked
He
anymore.
needs
Not
got
anymore.
clothes
He's
now.
got commoner clothes now.
That's it.
Nat, what would you like to do in the city?
honestly, I really don't think I need anything right now.
All right.
I mean, I'm just
I'll
trying
get to you.
Ew.
Okay,
just seeing Taruk nod his head is freaking me the fuck.
What is
wow.
Taruk nodding about?
Oh, I'll get
I
to
don't know,
you.
but it's freaking me out.
Don't worry, Nat. I'll get to you.
I'll
Torin,
get to you.
what would you like to do
I
now
have-
that we're in the city?
I have a devilishly good
I'm
idea.
terrified.
Torin would like to go train with Hisma, but he wants
Okay.
to bring Corrallos with him.
Montage, baby.
Ooh,
It's a montage.
just as Krallis leaves, I do have something for him.
Yeah, well, right now we're all just talking about what the party's going to be doing. It looks like everybody's going separate ways for a while. So,
Okay.
Torin, you want to go train?
Yes.
Corrallos, are you going with him?
To train Torin?
Yes. Gonna make you stronger. Or at least a little bit stronger, because I don't want you to
Oh,
die.
man.
Faster, smarter, wiser. He'll
I
jump
kind of
higher.
want to watch this happen.
Oh, this is so gonna happen.
Come on, it'll be great.
Yeah. Let's go. Just go ahead, Tori.
All right.
Let's go with Tori.
Torin puts a big arm over Kral's shoulder. Come on, this will be great.
You resist?
No.
All right, so very forcefully, it's almost like,
You're gonna do it whether you like it or not.
a guided hug, shall we call it? You're coming with me, buddy. Okay.
All right. Okay.
V, you had something for Corrallis before he goes.
You know what? I'll let him go, but when he's gone, I'm going to, up in whatever room he's staying in,
Okay.
I'm going to leave the deck of tarot cards in this room with a little note that says, I understand your frustration. No cause not to practice. And leave the little note with the cards in this room.
Okay. Okay. Now, Belden, I don't think I asked you what you had planned, other than perhaps helping out Metagas if that's what you choose to do. What do you have planned now that you're back in Brine? Are you gonna go with anybody on their business, or what? Day's yours. What would you like to do?
Well, I really want to help out Metagast.
Okay.
I don't. It's probably going to be really difficult, but like, I can't. Here's how I see it. I mean, yes, he's undead, and it's going to be my choice. So I know I could probably ask for help, but I don't want anybody else to have to, go against their own beliefs to do it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
We'll have some persuasion rolls and everything as far as if you choose to take him to one of the temples, or if you want to start with Mina. That'll be basically what we're about to do, and I kind of told you guys this before the stream. We're going to be going to each and every one of you, and doing a little bit with everybody and bouncing back and forth. And that's going to be a little bit of what tonight's about, because there's a lot to get done tonight. So, who would like to start? Basically, all of this is going to be happening like in the same day at the same time. So,
Simultaneous.
yes, simultaneous today.
I really want
Taruk will start with you if you don't mind.
You really want Taruk to start.
All right. Easy enough. All you have to do is mention one question to Mina about a tie. And if you want to RP that out, we can. But she immediately sends you to one of the finer tailors that she knows, says, "Darling, tell them I sent you. They'll give you a deal, and you will be handsome, my dear." And she looks at you. Trust me, they can handle big and tall.
I hope so.
So, what we'll do here is, while the other things that you have planned are being prepped, you go to the tailor that she specified, and they measure you, get you fitted. What color of suit and everything are you trying to? What do you look like?
I'm trying to do. Let me see. I kind of want to do like a silver grayish suit with like red pinstripes.
Okay.
Going all the way down, and
okay.
Like not the bow tie. I want to look like I want a regular tie, and I kind of want like a tie that's
skinny tie.
Yeah. Kind of matches it, and it kind of like reflects off the light a little bit. It's just like real super clean, super smooth looking.
You got it, man.
Yeah.
It takes a little while to get that suit done, but it is exactly as you described, and it is sleek, and it looks good. Total of 15 gold for the whole suit, including shoes.
Can't forget shoes.
Don't forget the shoes, man.
What?
But you can go ahead and mark that off, and that you have your suit made. The preparations have been made, and we'll say that for the time being, that kind of takes about a couple hours to get all that done. And you paid a little extra for them to get this, the suit done, on short notice. Who's next? Torin.
Yeah, let's do this.
Torin. You and Corrales make your way to Typhon's Bane, the Hunter's Guild of Brine, and you, not quite as busy, but that also has something to do with the fact that they are still holding these political rallies in Brine today, and there's that's taking a lot of fanfare and a lot of foot traffic. So it takes you guys a while to kind of once again navigate. Excuse me, to kind of get through the crowd again, and you find your way to Typhon's Bane, and on the outskirts of Brine. So you are looking for Hisma?
Yep.
Okay. As you walk in, it is fairly it's fairly dead. There's a couple hunters who are looking at the board, and you see a couple of them. They're like, that's too dangerous. There's a half orc and a human that are kind of going over like, no, it's just two of us. There's no way we would come back from that alive. And the human's kind of like, man, come on, that is a lot of gold. Like, yeah, but no. He goes, let's do this one. And he ripped off a notice off there. He goes, we can handle this. Still a good payday. And then you see as it's just literally that's it though. There's a couple, there's, one, the elven, basically the equipment master for the Hunters Guild. He's over off to the side, kind of drinking alone. You don't see Hisma in the main area of the lodge.
I'm gonna stop the two gentlemen before they walk out. You two gentlemen seen Hisma around?
The half-orc kind of looks at you. Yeah, she's in her office.
Thank you, Fred. Best of luck on your adventure.
He just kind of eyebrows you as you walk by.
Much. Come on, Corrales, let's go talk to Hisma. Once again. Oh, God.
Corrales, as you're being led around. You do see Hisma at her desk. She appears to be studying some parchment very intently. The door is kind of cracked open, so there's no, she kind of looks up and then, yeah, come in. She's
like, go to knock,
just enough to regard you and then goes back to her parchment.
Right. Hello, Hisma. Wonderful to see you as always.
No answer.
I know usually when I'm in town I come to train with you, but I actually have a favor to ask today.
Uh-huh.
See, my friend here...
She looks up once and then goes back to her parchment.
My friend here got himself into some bad luck. And, well, he could use some help getting stronger or faster or whatever training you can give him to not die, not be so squishy. Like just kind of poke Kraus. See, it's not like you.
Get your snout out of my ass. She kind of
doesn't hurt to try, Hisma.
Yet. She looks in. She kind of goes up and down at Corrales. What do you want me to do with this string bean?
Well, I mean, the last time you almost killed Nitris trying to make my constitution a little tougher, maybe you could help him with some agility?
I think he would die 3 minutes in.
You don't know that.
There's no verbal response, but there's a raising of what would be an eyebrow and a smirk across her face.
And then, of course, once you've killed him off, you and I can go a couple rounds like always. I'm sure you have plenty of pent-up frustration to get out on somebody.
Hey.
Why do you think I keep you around?
Yes.
She just kind of looks over at Corrales. Okay, let me explain this to you. Your body is honed for extremely strenuous situations. That's why I train you the way I do. He would die 3 minutes in.
Well, I know not to,
Even we would have to start where we start children Dragonborn fighters.
I mean...
Yeah, Corrales, this is really insulting, and she is... She doesn't really care.
She's not mincing any words. She's
None.
I mean,
This blue dragonborn just sits. Listen, I'm just being honest.
listen,
It would severely hurt him. What are you good at?
Me?
Yes, you, Stringbean.
Casting spells?
And you just see her head thud on the desk.
even Torrance just.
And she just comes back up. And there's an absurd smile on her face. What do you want me to do with that?
I figured even if you started him at the basic of basics, it's better than me just letting him fend for himself.
Of all the apprentices, why did I get a stupid one? You know what? I feel the need to work off some stress. Let's go train, Torin.
Yeah, let's go! Torn ecstatic.
Stringbean, you can watch.
Okay.
Torin,
Yes.
let's just say that this is going to take a while.
Okay.
Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Alrighty. Oh, that's an 8.
You start to throw up 10 minutes in.
Oh wow.
That's an ass whooping right there.
Yeah.
You brought me here?
Damn.
He's just watching cry. He's just a ball.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
You are literally doing the training regimen that you did before, where you're doing push-ups on the raised platform and the candles are under you. Except this time, randomly, she's hitting you in the side with the handle of an axe.
Whoa!
Ah.
Oh my god.
You're about to cry for your mother. What exactly do you think would happen to him if I did this for 2 minutes?
I know, it's just trying to look out for him.
I kind of want to train with him, I'm not gonna lie.
I know, I do too.
The next is the longest 3 hours of your life.
Yeah.
It is. You said you rolled an 8.
Yeah.
You have to stop to throw up 8 times.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh man.
There's nothing left of the contents of your stomach from that feast you had earlier.
Not moving it.
Corellos, she asks you one time. You want to jump in?
Sure.
That's the spirit
said
crowd.
no
Okay. Roll me a Constitution saving throw, Corellos.
You're a danger.
18.
Oh.
Corellos fares better than you do. For the first hour.
All right. I'll take that.
Corellos, after about the hour and 15-minute mark, your arms and legs are screaming. You can barely stand. But what you earned is a +2 to all athletics checks.
Woo!
Or athletics ability checks.
Cool.
Torin, you didn't get anything.
That's fine. Mostly
Because
just
that's
coming
something.
to see
You
his
took that.
mon, make sure Corrales is taken care of.
This is good, bro.
It's my athletics at 2.
Nat's not around, so we're.
Oh, no, I'm right here.
Oh, there you are. Okay, Nat, let's go. I thought you'd walked away for a minute. I apologize.
that's
Nat,
okay.
let's go to you. Where did you
I'm
go
terrified.
when the party split?
I'm just kind of wandering, like, just aimlessly, like, just listening, just kind of wandering through the crowd. All the big
Okay, so you take in a little bit of the speeches and the political rallies that are being held. You do notice that there's a couple people whose names you don't recognize who are running, but you get the idea that it was basically an open forum to run, and that it wasn't just former members of the council that are running. Because obviously, what you learned from all this was that Mina's not running. She had no interest in being Chamberlain of Brine. Teledor Rex is running. Vereen Shadeleaf.
Mm-hmm.
You ran into her when you guys came out of the lair of the Rakshasa. She was the Archmage that you guys ran into, the Elven Archmage. She's running. There's a couple other names, like I said, that you don't recognize. They seem to be from different guilds. One that's from from a merchant's guild. And once again, there's a couple which you basically, if you want a reference for, third-party candidates or people who don't necessarily have the gold and political backing, but they are still running because it was left open. The ties to the cult and the Rakshasa and everything, and it is definitely put a magnifying glass on the political system in Brine. And it appears that from what you gather, Teledor has been very vocal that more people should be allowed to run, and that it shouldn't just be of a higher noble class that run. In the middle of your just kind of taking in the day's events of these political rallies, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. There we go. 24.
24. You, about partway through a different speech given by Vereen Shadeleaf. Vereen is definitely not the orator that Teledor is. She is very even keel and simply saying she does make some similar points about the corruption that this city has faced, and that we have allowed not just members of cults, but fiends to infiltrate and take over the leadership of the city, and that this cannot be allowed, and that only someone with her background in dealings with the Mages Council and with a background in politics would be the best choice for the Chamberlain of Brine. And in the middle of her speech, you are hit with the worst migraine that you have ever had in your life. And immediately you start seeing some of the images that you saw in the provider's hut. And immediately the first image you see is this disturbing image of these demon-like spiders in a web. And you see is these you just see it's like a abrupt crawling, and then you see his 8 eyes turn, and as if they look at you. You then get another flash, and you lurch forward for a minute, and you see this huge humanoidish entity, and you see him with the boulder, and you see as he's pushing a boulder up on a hill, and he's using every strength and ounce of energy that he can to get this boulder up this hill. And right when he gets to the top again, the boulder kind of rolls down on top of him and goes back down to the bottom, and you see this entity just lets out a wail of frustration and torment. You then flash forward and you lurch again, and you see before you,
Oh no.
almost as if you were standing on it, you see, how about now?
Okay, you're good now. You're good now.
Okay, good. basically, just to finish up, you see as the boulder rolled down on over top of him as he just lets out a shriek of frustration and a wail of torment. You then lurch forward because you get another image, and this one is not one that you remember from the first group of flashes. This one is of an endless abyss, a void that stands in front of you as if you were literally standing on the edge of a peak and looking down, and it is endless. It is black darkness abyss for as far as you can see down, and you deign to look down, and it's endless. It's an endless void. You lurch forward again, and then you come back. And your sight kind of adjusts, and you see is somebody who is kind of walking by in the crowd, kind of is looking at you. It's this halfling man with kind of like a shaggy looking beard with a sack over his shoulder. He kind of looks at you. Are you all right, miss?
I just look at him. I put on a weak smile. I'm like, I'm fine. I think I might just need to sit down for a moment. But thank you.
Certainly. He looks concerned, and he doesn't take his eyes off you, but he goes on about his business.
I take a step forward just to make sure that, I can keep my footing. And once I know my foot can hit solid ground, I start to take
a little bit of vertigo.
Yeah. Just, very, very slowly walk, just very deliberate steps, just making sure that I know that the ground is still underneath me and it's not gonna
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's just you have that little bit of that vertigo feeling.
Yeah.
If you would, I'm gonna say that's a religion check.
Religion check. Okay. Yes, sir. Oh, let's see.
You're not proficient in this, so you're only going to be able to get so much.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. What you get from that, you can't place it, but you know that the provider Medea told you that she gave you the keys, and the best that you can gather that these flashes and these images that you're being forced to look at are locations somewhere, and you know that it's supposedly supposed to direct you to the Rakshasa, Regus, who has your sister still, as far as you know, as a prisoner.
And I don't recognize anything about these. Do I recognize anything about the images that I'm seeing, or?
You have never been there, and you are not trained in religion. The most that you can put together is that you know that these were clues and images that were left for you to kind of figure out where Regus is.
Okay.
So with your role, you know that you're going to have to talk to somebody who knows more about religion than you to figure out exactly where these images are pointing you.
Am I near a temple or anything?
Roll me investigation.
Okay. $18.
18. There are a few temples in Brine. Most of them they're smaller because Brine is still, it's a bigger city. It's on the upswing, but it hasn't become a cultural hub, so to speak.
Right.
There are a few temples and altars that are standing for basically the main of the Greek pantheon. There is one to Artemis. There is one to Zeus. There is one to Hera. If you go basically to we'll call it the temple district, if that's what you want to call it, but there's the largest temple there is erected to Zeus, and most of the others are smaller altars and smaller gardens that are in honor to some of the others.
Okay. But Zeus would probably be like a good starting point for me to.
That's up to you.
I think that's where I'm gonna go first.
Okay. I'm going to say that that's where we're going to leave you for now, and that you are making your way to the Temple District of Brian.
Okay.
V!
What are you doing, my dear?
I'll make it real quick. I'm gonna go to my shop and see if he has what I want. If he doesn't, I'm good.
Real quick, let's go ahead and do... Yeah, I'll do that as investigation.
Okay. $15?
15? 15. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I swear you said 50. And I was like,
Yeah, we leveled up. Duh, we're level 8.
right, yeah, level 8. You got a 50. I'm sitting here going, with what? Okay, 15. It takes you a minute. You go to the establishment that you usually go to, and it's an empty room.
No.
Yes.
Lame. All right.
Well, with that roll, I'm going to say it appears he has moved.
No word. That's rude. I guess I'll go back to the brothel and ask Mina. Oh yeah, I did want to talk to Mina actually.
Okay.
Now with that.
So you go back.
Effort,
You go back to the. Yeah, it kind of burned an hour there, just going down there and seeing that. Ooh, he's not there.
It is broad daylight, but I was being as careful as I can.
Sure. What are you stealthing?
Sure.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
That's a 19 plus 8.
Good lord, might as well be 50. Jeez. All right, yeah, it's basically keep your distance, but don't look like you're keeping your distance, and that's exactly what you do. Nobody follows you. You're just as inconspicuous as ever, and you make your way back to the luxurious light. You do run into Mina, and she kind of regards, "Oh, darling, it's good to see you. I was hoping we'd get to catch up."
Yes, certainly. Maybe we should step off to the side.
Sure. And she kind of, catching your drift, kind of takes you to her chambers where she stays in the light, and closing the door, ensuring that, you see the red tiefling security guard that has been there for years. You've known him, Farah, and Farah just kind of nods at you, and he's just doing what he always does. He is the security outside the hallway, outside of Mina's room. And once you two have some privacy, she kind of she actually pours a small glass of wine for her and just kind of motions to you if you would like some.
Please.
What is it, darling?
Oh, a couple things. First of which, I had a bit of a sweet tooth and found my favorite store was closed.
She kind of, there's a little uneasiness at that, and she goes, "Yes, darling. It appears that he was, in this economy, darling, it's so hard to keep a business running. He was forced to relocate."
Was it a formal invitation of sorts, or was it more of his choice?
My understanding, it was his choice, in that it is just a temporary thing. He says that he shall return, but for now he closed up business temporarily.
Oh, that's troublesome.
Was there something you were looking for?
I've been having trouble sleeping as of late. I just was looking for someone to help me with that.
I don't think I can help you there, darling. You may have to be patient until he comes back.
Patience is my middle name. On that note, I see you have quite a bit of reservation. Haven't seen any posters or material up regarding any ambition you might have.
You see as almost the demeanor shifts completely, and she goes, "Oh, darling. And she just kind of slumps back in her chair. Yeah. And you just see, oh. Why don't you want to run for Chamberlain, darling? Why is it, Mina? Don't you want to run? Don't you have aspirations for politics? Don't you want to run? No, I don't. You just see it's just the most animated you've probably seen her in a while. She's just being very dramatic about it, but go ahead and roll insight if you want.
I'd love to.
I'm just thinking Blazing Saddles. She's tired.
She's tired.
I'll do that on the After Dark one day. I'll do that.
Nice.
So I have expertise in that now.
You do.
So that's a 24.
She's not hiding anything. It's a little bit of a dramatic display.
She's being extra.
Yes, but you do know her to be that such. But she is being honest in that it appears that she's probably been asked about this more than she's cared to answer. And she honestly does not have aspirations politically. And she would rather be just left alone about it. And she kind of continues on the vein of, when these blasted elections are over, darling, then things can go back to normal. I can hear that goat from across the city. And she just kind of, darling.
You know what? Yeah, I'm genuinely thinking about when I came here, and this was a dusty brothel.
Yeah.
How far it's come. I just kind of sigh, and I'm just like, it's a foolish concept at all, to be honest. The way I see it is if you don't run, that puts you on better footing with whoever wins anyways, and then you get we get all the benefits and none of the actual responsibility. Politics. It's a sucker game.
There's a long groan from her. I have not lived this long, darling, because I wanted to be politically in charge. I am not a figurehead.
You're the whole body, Mina.
You would expect more of a reaction to that comment, that she's just,
No aspirations from our guild, however?
No.
Voices that might speak a little louder.
No. Nothing. Our guild likes to keep amicable terms with who is in power, but it's not very good business to mix the two, yes?
Agreed.
Oh, darling.
Speaking of mixing business with whatever else there is, I might be taking back to the roads soon. Would that be something we could work into my schedules?
Perhaps.
I don't think my business with this group is done.
I hope not, darling.
Why is that again?
Well, I'm fond of a few of them.
Clearly.
They remind me of my younger days.
I could say a lot of things, but I very visibly don't.
It's, they're a good group. And there is strength to be found in the company of others. Not everyone has to be a stranger. But what
it's easier that way.
It may seem that way. But what I told you before you left still remains true. Always Watch yourself, darling. Never mix acquaintances and friends.
I don't have much of either.
Really? And there's a bit of an amused look on her face.
Don't go there right now.
Well, what am I?
The closest thing I think I've had to a friend in my entire life. You can flatter yourself with that if you would like.
I'll take it.
Gonna give her a little toast.
Tink. When you first started speaking, it sounded like you'd met somebody. I think this is more complicated than that, yes?
Don't go there right now either. Water's
Very well.
murky. I don't care for that.
When aren't they, darling?
Honestly, until recently, pretty clear waters. I have to say. In fact, I think it was your advice to make them murky. Thanks for that.
I think you've lost me in the metaphor, darling, but I'm glad to help.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I'm a little screwed in the moment for what I needed, but do let me know if anything comes down the pike for me. I'm traveling, but that doesn't mean I want to be out of the game, so to speak.
Yeah. You'll understand more later. And then
Pick on me again.
then maybe we can talk more. Just understand that when the time comes, just know that I couldn't tell you everything. Some things you have to find out on your own.
All right. I trust you.
I know how hard that is for you. Thank you.
I don't know. I trust everyone. But I trust you.
Yeah, there's a very scrutinizing look at that one.
I trust everyone to be themselves. I trust you to look out for me. Thanks.
Have my word, darling. I always try to look out for you.
I know.
There's a bit of a correction there. Now, darling, anything else?
Not that I can think of. I do still have a bit of a sweet tooth, though. Let me know if anything
Absolutely.
looked good. Thank you. Then I'll just be on my way.
All right. Belden.
Oh, hold on.
You're muted, buddy.
That's my bad. Got him.
You're still muted.
Yeah.
There we go. Belden. On this little endeavor to help Midagast, what are we doing?
I mean, I said I don't know exactly how comfortable I would feel asking others to, do this, because it's not exactly natural. It's not. But I feel like it would help the party, and that's what my goddess wants of me. So.
Sure.
Yeah, it might suck. It might be really bad for me, but I think I'm going to try to do it on my own.
Okay. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to say that, you set up everything that's going to be required for this ritual procedure. This is going to be a tough little challenge rating on it. Just to explain a little bit for this. This is going to be an ability check along with the spell. Kind of similar to how I explained to you guys that, doing like resurrection in our game is not going to be snap of the fingers and Bob's back to life. It's going to be an ability check. This is along that scale. This is going to be tough. So what we're going to do is say that you can enlist help if you want, but you are going to use V's balcony that was offered. Was that it?
Oh, you're not going to the temple?
I mean, like, I'd have to ask them to do something unnatural.
I mean, yeah, I'm leaving Nina's. I can guide you to a quiet place to be alone to do this.
Yeah, that works. It doesn't have to be your balcony. Just somewhere where we can be alone. No one's gonna bother us.
It'll be the balcony I go to be alone.
Okay. What I'm gonna say here is that you take him to a certain room in the light that is meant for privacy, and it's done so on purpose for specific tastes, and that's where I'm gonna leave that.
Question for V actually. Well, I guess for the DM, is there happen to be a fireplace, a hearth in that room?
There is.
Because that's where it's gonna go down.
Okay. So basically what? Are setting up a chair for him to, or a bed to lay down on? What are we doing?
I guess I don't want him to like spaz out and fall, so maybe just kind of pillow on the floor and just kind of lay him on that.
Okay.
It's gonna sound weird, but I don't know if he should have the armor on while we try this either.
Probably not.
It's a good call.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
he's gonna have to disrobe.
Oh gosh, scandalous! You're gonna see his ribs.
And those tasty shin bones.
What did you say, V? For the sake of modesty?
Give him a robe.
Okay, yeah, and you give him a robe that will cover him in case this works.
Give him a really sorry kind of look. Like I've been actively avoiding him since the bog, and like he's kind of sorry. I'm not saying anything.
He's been strangely quiet towards you as well ever since thanking you. Belden, is this going to be you? Are you going to get any help, or is this just you?
I don't know who I could ask for help. Like I said, none of the guys to my knowledge, none of the party has really...
Let me put it this way. Are you strapping him down, or are you going to get somebody to help hold him down if it's necessary? Like...
Oh, okay.
The former could probably be done.
Everybody's gone, though, right?
Considering the room that we've chosen, strapping him down would not be hard to do.
I'm not gonna cough towards the...
Yeah, can I move that stuff on top of there?
It could be of use in this situation.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and strap old Skelebaboons down. It's like, it's okay, Metagast. This is so you don't hurt yourself in case this works.
He just kind of nods, kind of looking at you, and it makes you wonder if a skeleton could have facial expressions. What's he doing right now? But it's very difficult to tell.
I'm gonna talk quietly to Belden and be like, I broke the curse. I don't think I can do much else, but if you need me...
Can I have a bit of leather? He's gonna need something to bite down on. Oh. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, so give something...
Staunch pat on the shoulder.
Yep.
Don't get the authorities called on us, please.
I make no promises.
I'm gonna kind of kneel down to Metagast before I leave, and just very quietly kind of just tell him I'm sorry, and then leave.
He kind of watches you go, and right as you close the door, he says, "Me too."
Oh man, this is gonna be some serious business, Metagas.
Real quick before we get started, does anybody tell Mina?
Oh no!
Oh,
I would have assumed you already did that. I feel like
I think it'd be really good. I'd like to. I feel like that'd be a really good idea. I'd like to yell back to V and see if she hears me. V.
Oh. Yes. I'll go tell Philomena.
I'm gonna wait for that response before I do anything else.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell her that we need the quiet room.
I'm trying to bring a body.
There's
back
a
to life
strange
and
look
sex
on her
thing.
face as you see the amber skinned tiefling as she kind of looks at you and she goes, "Okay, darling, just clean up after you're done."
If the authorities come, no one's being hurt. Just pay them.
The room is
whatever
in
you-
use. I got it.
Thank you.
The most quizzical look on her face as she's like, and she just walks.
Wait, does she think it's for me?
You don't know.
Can I insight her?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no. Oh wait. That. Yeah, 22. It was a 14, but I have a +8.
From what you can tell, she didn't see that you were with anybody, but you just asked for the use of the private room. And she's just like, "Okay, darling," and she's kind of walking off.
Just give her a really appreciative thanks, and then tell Belden you're a go.
Oh
God.
Anytime.
Oh God, it's all the gods above. Oh wow.
All right, Belden. Let's get started here because there's a lot to get through tonight. What are you casting?
Well, let's see. The strongest thing that I've got. Dear God, I can't even read that. That's how small I had to write it. Hold on a minute. I'm just gonna do it off of here instead. Sorry, it's so freaking. I had to write it so small on that paper. Now I can't even read it.
You're fine.
It's kind of depressing.
Puny character sheet.
Yeah. And I said I was fighting my laptop the whole time, so it's like I don't have it on there. It's kind of depressing. So I was thinking whatever I cast would have to. I was thinking maybe doing it as a ritual instead, kind of deal, just chanting and give it the old length. But I think the highest. What is the highest healing spell I have? I think it's Beacon of Hope. Is that it?
Beacon of Hope?
That's not it.
That's not.
Trying to find my. Yeah, it's not. It's that's something else. Trying to find my highest healing spell that I have.
You don't have regeneration yet, do you?
I do not. All I have are things to heal. I don't even think that is something that clerics get. That sounds more like a druid thing. Yeah, see, even that's mass healing word. That's I think healing word is the strongest thing I have. I mean, I could go really weird and life transference, but that might kill me.
Yeah, don't do that.
Healing. That can't be it. You're not going to be able to use healing word on this guy.
Well, that's it. I don't have, like, we don't do regenerative magic. We do healing magic. That's what I got. That's why I asked before. Regenerative magic is not my bag.
I'm looking up cleric spells.
Okay.
Clerics can learn regeneration. That's the part that's getting me here. Depending on the level.
Let's go higher. Let's go much higher. New.
What's the highest? You don't have that either.
4. That's the highest I can
you
go
don't
right
have.
now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that. I mean, you could help, but you would have had to have found someone who has stronger healing magic than you. Yeah, I think that's like you said. You can do the transference one, but that's not gonna.
Because that's essentially taking my life force and being like, here you go.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't get restoration. You have
Yeah, I don't get learn regenerative stuff. That's not.
No, you can do true restoration, but that's at 9th level.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, true resurrection? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's not gonna. I ain't gonna do it, buddy. The lesser restoration. You got your stuff like prayer of healing, stuff like that. Stuff like that would help, but it's one of those where you'd have to keep casting it and burn all your spell levels to try to.
I mean, you got nothing else to do. But get a bunch of orange slices and some Gatorade, see how far you can go, I guess.
I mean, yeah. Essentially, I will put that there on the omnipotence there. How you wanna do that?
I'm gonna do this because we're kind of on a little bit of a time constraint to get other stuff in.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion.
Persuasion.
Yes, sir.
I think that's flat for me too. No, it's not. Solid +2. 15.
Not bad. It takes you a little while. You get to the Temple of Hermes in Brine, and you do find one cleric / medicine man who can help. It took me a minute to find it.
Yep, there it is.
Targets severed body, limbs, fingers, legs, tails, blah blah blah. The deal with that would be is that you'd have to have stronger magic to be able to do it. But that's what this guy is using. So basically, I'm gonna say use one. You're gonna burn through all of your healing spells to give this guy assistance.
Did he bring him back to the light, or did you bring him to the temple?
I'm assuming you got this. With that roll, I was saying that you just convinced him to go to the patient and make a house call. That's basically what this is. Okay. Oh yes, and to short story this, it is an elderly man. a elderly half elf man, just over his spectacles, who is kind of taking in being escorted to not only the luxurious light, but to
the punishment room.
Quiet room.
The quiet room.
The sex dungeon.
And
let's call it what it is.
He seemed to be more aghast at the location than the patient. And once he understands, and you guys give him the short version of what's being done, a bit of understanding comes across him, and he's okay. I'll do what I can. This is.
Please don't mind the ball gag.
It's precautionary.
Oh my. You just see this skeleton with a ball gag in. Just... All right, Belden. Basically, I'm just going to say you burned through every last one of your spell slots for this. First roll for you, make me a medicine check.
Okay. $16.
15?
16.
16, got you. The old man didn't do great. The ritual
Damn
begins.
it, old man.
The ritual begins. And at the beginning, it appears to be that there's no change. You see as the entire skeletal frame of Midagast lights up with the arcane energy between you and this elderly cleric. And you see as Midagast kind of lurches forward up a little bit, and he's under strain, but it's just, you can tell that the arcane magic is starting to take hold, and it's very small. You can't quite tell that there's much of a difference yet. Give me your next medicine check.
Dirty 20.
Old man got a 14. You are starting to see the beginnings of interior organs form inside of the skeletal frame. There's no quite reaction from Midagast yet. Right now, it's almost like you're starting with parts. Medicine check number 3.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is going to be, yeah.
That is a 15.
Okay. It takes about the next 3 hours. You are sweating. You are burning through a lot of your magic. It is taking all of your concentration, and you are seeing as a lot of these organs and these interior systems are starting to connect, and you're starting to see like some of the veins are starting to form in this kind of disturbing, the road maps around the skeleton, and it's kind of, even as practice of a physician as you are, you have never attempted anything like this before.
Yeah,
nor
it's different seeing it live than in a book.
Yes,
way different.
And it's amazing to see it come from scratch. You see is a lot, as like I said, as the cardiovascular system in your veins and your run, you see as the heart starts to connect to all of these main arteries and veins that are starting to spread out. You see as the lungs start to blow up like balloons. It's a very strange process. You notice that the old man has not done anything for the nervous system yet. And it's the only thing he said. I would like to prolong the amount of time before he starts to feel it as much as possible. Medicine roll.
Good doctor. He knows what's up.
17.
This old man is not helping. 12. You see is, like I said, it's slow. It's another couple hours. You see as the lungs, the diaphragm, and all of the, you start to see the breathing apparatuses the esophagus starts to form up, and you're seeing, and he's tense, but there's no sign of pain from him. He's basically kind of like an inch or two off of the table that you have him strapped down to. The arcane magic is taking effect, but this is slow.
Damn it, old man.
This old man, as you see and you take it, it is taking a lot out of him, and he is drenched in sweat, as are you. But you realize you can't stop, or else it's going to be all for naught. A lot of these systems are not connected. It's just fleshy bits inside of his skeleton right now. Medicine roll.
Come on, fleshy bits. 22.
Nice.
Right. You start to leave him to the main body and the interior organs. You start focusing on the cranium and the brain, and you start working on that. It's slow, and you start to see the formations of the different frontal and orbital lobes of the brain start to fit. Once again, it's weird. It's exactly like seeing a balloon that get filled with air, because it literally started from cells, and it's slowly regenerating and coming and forming. Keep going. About freaking time, old man.
Cool, because I got a 13.
You got a 1 and a natural 20.
Nice.
Okay. He, realizing that we're starting to get to the nitty-gritty here, and you see as the brain has started to get the stem, and then you see the nervous system starts to branch off and connect, and now you're starting to see as you can physically see as the brain is starting to be connected, and you can see it function from nothing, and now you're starting to see the literal electrical impulses from the brain starting to activate, and now you're starting to hear noises from Hector. It's right now gritted teeth, grunts, but he's okay. It takes another hour or two, and the interior, shall we say, is starting to look like a lot of those medical posters that you see of like the inside of the human body, and things are starting to connect, and systems are starting to go up. The heart starts beating for the first time. Now begin the screams. There is no way to deafen the sounds that he makes for the next hour. Not even gonna try. But
Good thing we're in a sex dungeon.
And let your imaginations run with that. I'm not gonna try to recreate it. For the next hour, it is some of the most intense pain that you imagine that you've ever seen somebody go through. One more medicine check.
Come on, Belden.
18.
Act. All right. You said 18?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're at, what, hour 6 of this procedure?
I lost track of time.
Yeah. It,
Hearing someone yell that much, you just kind of lose track of a lot of things.
It's been nonstop. And it's gotten to the point where as the vocal cords and everything kind of came, and as even that part started to form, he loses his voice. He screams so much. The old man slumps forward in exhaustion and hits the ground. You, Make me a Constitution saving throw.
14.
You drop to a knee as the room starts spinning. This is the longest that you've ever had to concentrate on your arcane energies before for healing. And as you look up, Hector's not much to look at. There are tissues and muscles and the musculature that are starting to form around everything, but it is not complete. And if anybody's ever seen Deadpool without the mask, that's about what you're looking at. And you slump forward and you pass out on the floor. And the ritual fades, and there's nothing but the sound of Hector shaking on the darn table. He can't even make noise anymore.
Rough.
We're gonna cut the camera to Taruk.
Thanks a lot, old man.
I know, Belden's knees are killing him.
Kelsey helped a bit, but...
That shit was intense.
Yeah.
Whew.
So Taruk, what you doing, buddy?
Tone shifting like an anime, apparently.
Shift over. Nah, you know, I'm just
Are
got
you
my
ready?
suit. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Well, let's commence, shall we?
Let's go.
Where do you go?
Well, I go back to the brothel to find V.
Okay.
This isn't 6 hours later, right? This is like...
No, depending on how long or if you even bothered to stay for...
I think it would... No, because I figured I couldn't really do much. At least not right now. I can't do much. Maybe later, but for now, there's really nothing I can do. So I would have stayed.
Later, I'll give you guys a little more about what can be done with him now.
Okay, because I might be able to help later, but for now, nah. Pretty much, I would have left at the beginning.
Yeah. So, V, I assume you are at the light.
Yeah, I would be.
Okay.
I'd be leaving that room.
So no need to go find. Easy enough. You go back to Luxurious Light, Taruk, and you run into V.
Hey, V.
Hello.
What do you think?
I mean, yeah. Clean up well, I suppose.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, I did sleeves and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you ready?
Oh, I take it the favor is getting repaid now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Give me a moment.
Right.
Now he's dressed up very well, right?
Yeah, no, you see this the suit that looks like it's been tailor-made for 50 big and tall Taruk. If I recall, it's like a slate gray with some red pinstripe, I believe, with a thin tie. Was that close to what you described earlier? And looks like he is definitely dressed to impress.
All right. Well, then I'll take about 5 minutes up in my room.
Okay.
I have the magical shifty dress. Shouldn't take me long to get ready, but I'll come back. Yeah, I'll tell you to just a moment. And I'm gonna go up to my room, do my hair and makeup real quick, just nice and quick and easy. Just kind of look at myself before I leave. Catch my reflection. Just kind of be like, don't look like that. Doing this because we owe him. and we wouldn't want that to go unpaid. So just here we go.
Ready?
I'll leave my room. Yeah, I'm gonna come down the stairs. I've got to the nines. I'm talking. My hair is wavy and lazy curled, ink black. Got my makeup done. My lips look like frozen winter berries, and I'm wearing a dress that is layers upon layers of gold fabric that would be see-through if it wasn't layered so much in a flowing gown.
That's what you see, Taruk.
Taruk is just like staring at V and all. It's kind of like one of those like teen movies, you know. With a hot chick. You know, he's all like, well, V, you look amazing. I mean, you always look really good, but you know, here you look, yeah.
Suppose I could use some fresh air.
Yeah. So, shall we?
Shall.
Let's go.
Kind of weirded out a little bit, but hiding it very well.
Right.
Kind of give one over my shoulder. I kind of glance back up at the rooms and just shake it off for a sec and get back to business.
The two of you roll me perception checks.
Oh no.
It's the best thing ever.
Oh, it's actually really low. It's a 16.
I have a 19.
Taruk, you faintly swear you heard somebody scream.
No.
Hey.
Sounded male.
All right. I know this is, you know, a place of business, but it doesn't seem like a pleasurable scream. Did you hear that?
You didn't.
I can assume what he heard, though, right? If I was to take a wild guess.
I'm gonna say that with you helping the setup, you got a good idea.
I don't suppose there's much we can do right now.
Huh? What? Do what?
Maybe focus at what's at hand. There's not much we can do.
Tulip just kind of looks at her, a little confused, raises an eyebrow, but okay.
My mindset is I'm giving Belden his space. He's the expert here.
Taruk, location number 1.
All right.
I believe we dinner, I believe, was location number 1.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It was the first.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you make your way, and this is V. I'm not gonna, just for this, I'm not gonna guess, but you maybe have been to this place once or twice. It is one of the finer restaurants to be found in all of Brine. This is definitely a very high establishment, the venue, or at least the area that Taruk has chosen, is a little bit of an outdoor patio area where there's a little bit of a small stage off to the side that's set up that sometimes has, you know, live music that's played for the patrons and the people who come here for the ambiance.
Who'd you have to scare to get a place in here?
Well, you know, I didn't really scare anybody, but, you know, I mean, you're not the only one with connections, you know what I mean?
In the back of your mind, Taruk, absolutely, I can find you any reservation that you need. No place is too good for a friend of mine, sir.
Oh boy.
Oh God, that was.
I told you I was going to add my own little flair. Anyway,
Wonderful.
Anyway.
You have an empty patio that is pretty much all to yourselves, and you see there is a small little stage. There is a small little stage that is set up on the stage. Taru?
Well, I thought we'd start out by enjoying a nice meal, and I know everybody loves a show while they eat, so I've had something prepared. I hope you enjoy it.
Can't imagine I wouldn't.
Okay, basically, before we get to the show, you see as your server comes out and offers you a bottle of wine, one of the choice ones that they have that is offered here, but you have your drinks and your food already ordered. And V, what you begin to see Taruk reference off to the side is this smaller stage that is set up on the main one. And you see that it is the makings for a marionette show.
Okay.
And thus the dinner theater begins. And the marionettes begin to play out the story of the party's exploits. Starting, it is, how should I say, it is told from the narrative perspective of Taruk.
Oh dear God.
And you see as the evil Dathan Meyer rises from the dead body of Lady Liliana, which you're fairly sure that didn't happen that way. As this small marionette puppet of Dathan Meyer raises up and goes, "This is for the Dark Brotherhood. You'll never stop us." And you see as the marionette starts to bounce towards a boat that's near the dock. And as it gets on this boat and tries to escape, you see as the marionette puppet of Taruk Bloodfist, "I'll stop him single-handedly." And it starts to bop forward to the boat, and it leaps forward with this tiny, a toy axe, and it cleaves the boat in two. And as the boat's sinking, Taruk plunges his fist down and grabs the drowning body of Dathan Meyer and throws him up onto the dock and says, "I see you never stop. You'll never get away as long as I'm here." We continue later to the duel of Taruk Bloodfist versus the Bugbear Chief. And the battle lasted only 2 seconds as Taruk destroys the Bugbear Chief. The Bugbear Chief was wielding 2 double-bladed axes. Taruk took him down with 1 finger.
Your poke of doom.
I'd like to insight Taruk real quick. I just want to know, is he being exaggerated and funny, or does he actually believe this happened this way?
Roll an insight.
I'm with Krells on this one.
Oh my god! I got a 2.
Oh my god!
That's a 10!
Nah, V, if you're wondering,
Take it
all
back.
this is exactly played out.
You are hanging on every word.
Oh, Lord.
Fucking breathe.
No, more so I believe that he believes this.
That's up to you. So far, what he's saying and how it's being... presented. I mean, you do know Taruk. You've seen him in action. It could be true.
Oh,
We
it's
then
true.
Even I can't tell.
Damn true.
We
my
then
God.
get to the day where Taruk single-handedly saved you from the bandits on the roadside.
I mean, that's kind of not far from the truth, actually.
But this time, instead of it only being a handful, it's like 12 different bandits that are surrounding you. And with one strike of the lightning javelin, they all are sundered into dust. Coincidentally, Midagast and Torin are nowhere to be seen in this venture, and it was only Taruk who did this and who helped you, almost in Shakespearean-like manner and dialogue about "My lady, can I help you?" And he basically carries you from the burning carriage.
Oh boy.
Yes.
We,
This is going so good.
And the entire story of your adventures are told through this venue of storytelling. Even to the meeting with the Green Dragon in the Rakshasa lair, where Taruk beheaded the beast and saved everyone. And it culminates in the adventures in Black Bog Swamp, which actually are pretty much somewhat as they occurred. There's very little artistic license to that part, but the everything else is just told as I have described. And at the end, you find out that there was these this like group of children that were controlling the marionettes and the puppets, and they all bow at the end of it.
Ladies.
Big applause for the kids. Massive applause. In fact, I'm gonna go up there and kind of thank them personally and like shake their little child hands.
You see, there's a couple different. There's a halfling child, there's a human child, an elven kid, and they from the look of them, they look like street urchins.
How many kids are there?
About 5 of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna slip a few gold on each kid, like secretly, as I'm kind of shaking their hands and giving
You
them
get that at first there was kind of like a long extended period of bows because they were expecting something.
Yeah. Let's slip them some gold.
Okay, you slip them some gold.
I don't want
and
you
they all-
to see me slipping them gold though.
Okay, slide a hand real quick.
There we go. That's better. 21.
21, not a problem. Taruk, if you want, you can roll me a perception. It's up to you.
That's 16.
You don't see anything.
Nope.
You basically get that this little group of children, they're almost they do tell you a little bit about themselves, and you find out that they are honestly kids of street performers and mummers. So this is kind of something that they're, seems that they're kind of slowly learning their craft.
I'm gonna give them a lot of encouragement and thanks and
Yes.
handshakes and hugs.
Yeah.
Before
And
they,
what'd you say,
sorry.
Drew? No, go ahead.
Before they leave, I want to give them a bag of 10 gold points.
There you go.
Personal.
You
yeah.
take him. And one of them, the little halfling boy who seems to be the entrepreneurial, the business leader of the group, the business halfling.
Business halfling.
Business halfling.
Thank you. And if you ever need us for anything, we do weddings, we do birthdays, we do coming of age, we do everything. Thank you. And please come
I'm gonna
again.
give them a really polite bow.
And they leave you to your privacy so you can enjoy your meal for the rest of the evening.
Well, that was something.
Somewhere off in the distance, you swear you hear another scream, but it comes from the Hunters Guild. It was dragonborn in nature, you believe.
Sit back
Taruk.
down with Taruk.
Yeah. and now you can enjoy your meal.
Well, V, did you enjoy the show?
Never thought we'd make such riveting entertainment.
Well, you know, I mean, we are pretty cool, you know. You know, just so you know, that whole scene, you know, where I stopped Dathan single-handedly, yeah, that happened. Like, I just totally leapfrogged off deck onto the boat, and I was like, you're not going anywhere, you know, and...
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know.
The scene with the carriage happened exactly that way as well. You know, I'm terrible at defending myself.
Yeah. So, how's your meal?
It's fabulous. I was just trying to be incredibly polite. I would assume I've been here before.
So you probably have been here a few times.
Yeah. No, I'm very much like not trying to lie outrightly, but just be like, it's wonderful. Always is.
That's good. So, the whole Black Box Swamp thing, how do you feel about it?
Yes. Long. Not unrewarding. Not exactly memories I'll cherish, but do it again.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty rough, but, you know, I would for sure do it again. With all, you know, with everybody again. Definitely.
Can't say it's anything I ever expected to be doing, but that seems to be a pretty common occurrence in my life lately, so...
Well, you know, expect the unexpected, you know?
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. So, you know... I mean... so, this is pretty much as far as I got planning this epic, you know, day. Anything you want to do in particular?
Well, I have to say I'm not usually in charge of these kinds of things. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna kind of look around. I assume we've eaten quite a bit at this point.
Yeah.
Do you do this a lot, Taruk?
No. This will be Taruk's first. Well, of this nature. Normally, my tribe. You know, I, you know, flex a muscle, girls bat their eyes. You know, it's simple. When I you know, this is something different, you know, something new to me, and you know, you're different from the other women that have come in and out of my life, and I kind of wanted to, you know, try it this way, see how this works. I mean, you know, I kind of don't like sleeves, but I think I look pretty good in the suit.
You take a look at the tailored suit. The shoulders look like they're straining the seams, but other than that, you wonder if you raged, what would happen.
You look great, Taruk.
Thanks, B. You look gorgeous yourself.
It's kind of my job.
Yeah. So, why do you say let's get out of here and let's maybe go find a drink somewhere maybe a little more exciting, thrilling, kind of more of our scene.
And just what do you think our scene is? Surely not the swamp again.
No. I mean, we could go to the swamp if you want to.
Oh, that was being facetious. No. I think I understand what you're saying. Somewhere we've done something you don't usually do. I hate to admit it, but I'd love to do something I don't usually do.
All right, well, I'm down for that.
Afraid you're gonna have to lead the way.
All right. So let's go.
One moment.
All right.
I'm gonna walk behind a pillar or a wall or something
Sure.
and come out the other side in a very plain dress of just browns. Still nice, but very common type brown.
Common leathers,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, off the shoulder, long dress, just kind of browns and creams and whatnot. Just very common, but still very V, but very common.
Sure. Common for V, I think is the best way to put that.
As common as V is capable of.
Yep. Okay. We're going to cut to you guys getting to your new location. Guys, I know that we're running late, but I've got a couple scenes in mind, a couple involving them and one for Corrales, and I do have a specific kind of ending I'm trying to get to for this episode. So if everybody's good, just please bear with me. It just might be a late one, but it's worth it, I promise. So, I'm going to say you guys make it. I think I have an idea of where this is headed.
I think I do too. Kind of guessing.
Taruk, roll me an investigation roll.
I will say, you could always do them and then finish off with just us if you have to. I mean, my husband goes to work late now, so I can stay up later.
Okay.
15.
Taruk, you know of a certain dive bar down by the docks called the Black Reef. I think that might be a good place to go. If I may pan away from you guys for a moment.
Yes.
Torin and Corrales. Now, Torin has an arm around Corrales, so Corrales can hold him up. You guys make your way back to the luxurious light, and I assume Torin back to the baths with you.
See, I told you she could help. Oh, everything hurts.
That was your idea, Torrance.
Well, this is actually how it normally feels when I leave training with Isma.
And you go back?
Yeah, it's invigorating.
Seems it.
Oh, you poor boy. He's the voice of Mina, looking at the two of you in the sorry state that Torin is in, to where he can barely see. Corrales, you are bad, but it's also that feeling of you're not going to feel nearly as bad as you will the next day.
All right.
We all know that feeling when you do a workout for the first time in a long time. The day of's not bad. What's bad is the morning after.
Yeah.
Torin feels like he's been mugged.
Yeah. So Torin, you are you whisk yourself away to the baths to maybe soak for the next 12 hours. Corrales.
Ales, all of them.
Talk to the servers, darling. They will help you with whatever you require.
Thank you, madam.
Corrales? What do you do?
Oh, I don't know. I guess right.
I didn't think this far ahead.
I was listening to the date. All right.
I
I
didn't
know.
think I'd make it this far.
I didn't
You
think I'd make it.
didn't.
That's the meme I was thinking about.
You didn't think I'd forget about you, did you?
No, but I was looking at the time. I didn't think we'd get here.
We're getting here.
Yeah. I guess I'll head towards my room.
Okay. Okay, so you go back to your room.
Yeah. Yeah, if Torin's good in the baths, I'll head up there.
Okay. Mina just kind of nods at you. She's got that look of that her eyes have not left you yet. She's just kind of following you with her eyes. You all right, darling?
No. Adam, no. I'm lost.
Well, you're in Brian, and you're in the luxurious light, and that's a start, darling. I assume you mean something a little more severe than that, though.
Much.
She kind of takes a look around. There are a few patrons. We're in the early hours of the night, like a 7, right around in there. So she goes, "You'd like to talk someplace a little more private?" And she kind of leads you off to one of the privacy rooms. Not where Metagast is, but just a room where the two of you can have a conversation without being overheard.
Yeah, I'll follow her.
Okay. She kind of a little more cordial probably than some of the last few times that you've spoken to her, but she
A little bit.
You all right, darling? You look like you've a little worse for wear.
You know how warlocks work, madam?
You see as her eyes kind of pop up for a second, kind of like, well, that's not where I saw this conversation going. And you see as the scrutinizing gaze of Philomena Bordeaux just levels you. Yes, I do, darling. I happen to have known a few in my time.
Have they ever lost their patron?
Not the ones that I have known. You don't just lose a patron, darling.
Well,
It's kind of the whole point of the deal that is struck, so I understand.
I'll kind of pull on my cloak and say, "Oh, I lost everything."
She kind of looks at you. I thought I saw something different. I take it this is not just a fashion statement.
No. I picked up a playing card and everything's gone. I still don't really understand what happened.
Roll me insight.
15?
Difficult to read. You don't get much from it. She just looks at you. The gaze has softened a little. Seems like more intent than anything, just listening. If I may ask, darling, what does losing all of your possessions have to do with a patron? Usually, at least the ones that I've known, a warlock's patron doesn't exist on this realm. It exists someplace else.
I will look around, make sure we're alone. Doors shut kind of thing.
Yeah, it's roll me investigation.
12. No, wait. No, 17.
She kind of looks at you and notices you kind of gazing around, and she goes, "We're safe here, darling. There are no prying eyes or ears to conversations unless I wish it."
I don't completely understand how it worked, but my cloak was my patron. It was sentient.
There's a bit of recognition in her eyes that she's slowly starting to get it. Interesting. So an entity was bound to an object, and this was your patron?
Yes.
And so now that you have lost this item, you have lost your patron.
Yes.
A warlock without a patron is a fairly weak thing, darling.
That's why I'm lost.
Well, if it is religious advice you wish, I do not believe I'm the woman to give it. I'm not affiliated, so to speak. I have my own beliefs. I was never much for serving someone else, darling. There are plenty of temples in Brine if you seek a new patron. Perhaps one that doesn't bring chained horrors down upon you, yes?
I don't think you would bring a chain horror down on me, madam.
There is a very long look.
Temporarily, of course, until I find my cloak.
Roll me a persuasion check, boy.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
19.
Oh, is this happening right now? You fucking serious?
I don't know. Shut up.
I'm pulling up stats.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I want it to work.
She looks at you. Darling, in my line of work, many men and women have worshipped me. But not quite as you speak.
Are you willing to take the risk?
Talk about a marriage proposal.
That's kind of what it sounds like. But it also...
She looks at you and her face and her demeanor changes. It reminds you of the day where she threatened you about Nat. You see a different person sitting in front of you. Do you know what you're asking?
Yes. I don't think I completely understand it, but I've done it twice already, yeah.
Darling,
Third time's a charm. Oh, let's go.
first things first. If I do this, I am not a deity. Much as it pains me to admit that.
Yet.
This will severely weaken my abilities if I share this with you. Once again, I'm going to ask you, do you truly understand what you're asking?
Yeah. What can I do for you in return?
First, make me a wisdom saving throw. As you stare in Mina's eyes, there's a flash of red arcane energy from her eyes. Make me a wisdom save.
25. That is a nat 20 plus 5.
If I give this gift to you, you need to know who you serve. Temporarily, of course. I have no desire to remain in a weakened state. And you see for the first time the visage of the amber skinned tiefling starts to fade, and the skin turns pink, and the jet black hair starts to change shades to a vibrant red, and it falls down her back. The black ram-like horns that curl backwards start to straighten and readjust to the frontal lobe of her forehead. The tail simply changes colors. And where you once saw Philomena Bordeaux, you see a succubus sitting in front of you. The expression on her face has not changed. One more time, darling. Do you know what you're asking?
If I'm not mistaken, I'm asking the Enchantress to be my patron.
The only reason I'm considering this because your will is very strong. You see, there's another flash of red arcane energy from her eyes. Make me one more wisdom save.
19.
The DC is 20. What happens? You are magically charmed by Mina. And she just simply looks at you and says, "Now, I have no intention of abusing this, but this has its benefits. This is now a telepathic link from me to you anytime you need guidance. I also know where you are every second of every day because you have my power, yes?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure, whatever you say.
I feel safer. The madam knows where I'm at.
This also makes you immune to all charm effects.
Oh.
Because you cannot be charmed while under the power of a greater succubus.
Damn.
All right. I don't know where.
Put it in your resistances. You're immune to charm.
Holy gee willikers.
Indeed.
Now, darling, let's see if we can do something about that equipment of yours. I will not have an acolyte of mine looking like a hobo.
Oh, damn.
I will send you off stream the gear that she gives you. We're gonna, because we're running late, I gotta pan back so we can wrap this up for tonight. So, Taruk and V.
Jesus Christ.
We are at the Black Reef, and the only thing that I'm going to say about this particular part of the night, like I said, I'm trying to give this justice, but we're running late. You went to one of the seediest dive bars down by the docks, Taruk, with a very attractive woman with you. The obvious happened, and some surly drunkards started hitting on V, to which the two of you thought that you needed a little more entertainment for the evening. So, the following tavern brawl was something that they will talk about for years on the docks. This all culminates with a midnight walk between the two of you after said tavern brawl. Taruk's got a cut above his right eye where somebody had busted a bottle over across him. Even V, you've got kind of like a shiner bruise on your off of your left eye for where somebody got a shot in on you.
Oh, I'm embarrassed.
But you made that guy pay. It was nothing to worry about.
I didn't kill him.
No, and yeah, no, it was just a good tavern. It was a scuffle down by the docks. You know, it was.
I'm gonna like walk on the top of the like bridge, like there's a stone bridge or whatever. We'll walk on top of it so I could be like head level with Taruk, and I'm kind of like checking out his cut. Like, you'll be okay.
Yeah. So.
Woo. Just laughing in the night.
I could say that was fun. I mean, yeah. That was so much fun, D.
I didn't think I could have that much fun in this city.
Oh, that was definitely our seed. Definitely our seed.
Oh.
You know, I mean, so did you have fun today?
I did. I really did.
You know, it's good, B, and I'm glad we did this. You know, I was nervous at first, but you know me, I'm me, so you know, and it all worked out.
We've spent almost every day together for the last several months.
Yeah,
I mean, words being pointed out.
Yeah, you know, no, I just. So, you're probably wondering why I asked you on a date.
Why an unrepentant ladies' man asked a professional lady out on an evening? Not particularly.
Well, you know, you know, we just keep walking and like we're walking. We're close by the woods, right?
Yeah, you're near the. You've basically walked out of one of the southern gates of Brine. It was closer to where, like I said, where the dock district was. There was another, like, it's not as big as the main gate, but it's like a smaller gate, kind of like a back road way in and out of Brine, closer to the waterfront. And there is like a wooded area that you've come to. It's a beautiful night. There's a slight breeze on the out there. Clear
Is
skies.
it the part of town where I would near my shop, so to speak? Like, would I kind of know my way around here?
No, the opposite direction, actually.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You're basically walking out of the city limits now, basically, where you sit on this like little drawbridge that came across like a creek. And yeah, it's a beautiful night. Clear skies, stars are out.
So, hey, Taruk and V just keep walking, and
Yep.
Taruk kind of looks around while we're just further into the middle of the woods. This is the perfect spot. V, you know, since I first met you, you know, I've always wanted to tell you something, and I could never figure out how to do it. And I've always been the type of person to, instead of tell, I'll show you how I feel. And I think I've done a pretty good job tonight. And well, there's something that I want to show you, if that's all right with you.
Sure.
All right. And Taruki kind of leans in towards V and strokes the hair on the side of her face and gives her a little kiss on the side of the cheek. And I whisper right to her, don't be afraid. And, well, Tim?
Taruk raises up his hand and activates the moonlight ring. And you see as the 8-foot tall Goliath that stands before you starts to transform, and the gray slate-like colored skin of the Goliath starts to get very hairy. And you see as he doesn't grow so much in stature, but the muscle starts to lean out a little, and you see as the round like head of Taruk starts to like elongate to a snout, canine like. And you see in the very slow transformation in the moonlight of the ring, Taruk turns into a werewolf right in front of you.
Yeah, instinctually, I'm definitely like rushing back some. See what happens. Not like freaking out, but getting out of his way type of a thing.
Yeah.
And waiting to see what happens.
Taruk's just standing there.
You have more control over it now, so there's not like that frenzied, you know, that frenzy feeling. You have a little bit more of a control over it, and it's under your. You're like I said, it's under your control now. It doesn't control you as much.
Taruki looks at himself and he extends
Take one
his
of your hands. See if they'll let me.
Yeah, I do.
Kind of pull you down farther and like touch your face.
It's kind of scruffy. Brown and blacks as far as the color of the fur. The eyes, although canine-like, are familiar. There's a sadness and a kindness in them that maybe you haven't noticed.
This is what you were afraid to show me? I've been swallowed and spat back out by scarier things than you. Can you change back?
Not right now. Taruk, give me a perception check, if you would.
He might wonder something after he's done with this.
Or
12.
12. Okay. V, what was your question?
So not dispel an entire curse, but could I attempt to reverse it from this? Not dispel it or make it go away or anything, but just kind of revert him back.
That's going to be tough because I believe
Okay.
your ability specifically cures, not suppress.
Yeah, but only if I go the 9 yards. If I do a little diet, maybe it'll only work partially. Like, I can't do the whole shebang right now, so it won't completely cure the curse, but maybe just short it out for now.
I think that's stretching it a little bit, but you can certainly try.
Yeah, if you'll let me.
I'm going to give you the option.
Sure. Don't know how you'd want me to handle that, but...
About the same as I let you handle breaking Midagas's curse.
Okay, so that'll just be a
Yeah.
roll with...
Whatever you use for your spellcasting modifier when you...
So... I believe that's Chaw, so that's a 17? Okay.
He's been living with this for a while, and he's only just now starting to get a handle on it. Learning how to maybe suppress it on command is going to be something that he or maybe you can help him with, but not tonight. Around the two of you, you notice is there's a fog that is very suddenly dropped low over the city of Brine. In the once clear night, you now have this weird, kind of eerie looking gray smoke that rises maybe a couple feet off of the ground. Now, even with your roll from earlier, Taruk, you start, even with your canine-like senses, you hear something off in the distance. There's the sound of thousands of footfalls.
Well, I can't talk yet. I'm not at a certain level there yet. So I'm just gonna like raise my ears up and it's like alert V into a certain direction. So
Okay.
she kind of, like I want to just kind of body language as best as I can.
So basically, very dog-like, you see as the ears perk up and you see as Taruk kind of motions further south. And he kind of triple takes that way. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, please.
$17?
17. That'll do it. You begin to hear it now. It is the sound of thousands of footfalls. And as you look further to the south, even through this mist that is started to lower on Brine, you both now see as thousands of armored troops are marching towards Brine. Columns of infantry. There are broken, from what you can tell, that looks like men on horseback. They're several miles off, but they're heading towards Brine.
They're people, like regular people.
It's nighttime and there's a fog. From best that you can tell, all you can see is that there are thousands of troops, the makings of an army, heading towards Brine.
Well, Tim, Taruk sees that and he looks at V, and I grab her. I grab her and start running back towards Brine because I want to just get V out of here.
Okay. As you guys make your way back, you get within the city limits, and there's a couple of the guards that are standing watch are alerted as a werewolf carrying a woman run through the front gates. And just as they're about to yell to stop you, you look overhead as there appears to be hundreds of flying bat-like creatures that are now circling Brine. And that's where we're gonna pick up next week.
God.
What the hell?
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to do this as fast as I can because I don't know how to wrap all that up. What an episode! Just mind blown. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. As always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, tap the little bell on your YouTube app so you never miss an upload. Also, buy the merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/LostBoyKirby. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you guys next